In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. George Orwell. Yeah. This is Blood Politics. The only podcast where we don't talk about politics. We be about politics. And our mission statement is to empower, educate, and encourage everyone to speak out against fascism. Speak out against injustice and fight for freedom and equality for everyone. This is Blood Politics, and we ain't stopping till they put us in the grave. We ain't gonna be quiet, and we ain't gonna be scared, and we ain't gonna go along with the crowd. This is Blood Politics.
All right, what do you say, guys? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to the show. I'm Boston Brian. This is the Blunt Politics Podcast. Welcome to Super Bowl Sunday's coverage edition, episode, encore, whatever you want to call it. What do you say we bring in the chat? Very much appreciate you guys. How's everybody doing? Sunny San Diego. Deb, how are you? What's going on, Paul? What's up, Jupiter Judy? How are you guys? What's up, everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch? Please make sure you hit the respective buttons that go that are associated with that respective platform, whether it's a like, a thumbs up, a bit, a poke. I don't know what the hell is going on a lot of these platforms, but please make sure you hit those buttons. What's going on, guys? What's up, Soulcraft? What's up, The Soulcraft? We got both you guys in attendance, and I appreciate it. What's up, Flipper? What's up, Dawn? What's going on, guys? What's up, Jen? How are you? Appreciate it. Let's fucking go, guys. Welcome. What's up, Ian? Thank you, everybody over there. What's up, Aqua Lover? What's up, Yakov? What's going on? Appreciate you guys. Yeah, I was playing around with a little intro. Figured I'd throw that one on there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm hoping to put like a beat. We got a bunch of people working on stuff too, just kind of fooling around nowadays. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to the chat. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the way in. Subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 20,000 subscribers. If you could help us make that push, I would be very, very grateful, very much appreciated. There's a Venmo up in the corner here where you guys, if you want to send in a buck or two, anything above and beyond that is totally 100% up to you guys. There's also a little spot underneath me. You can sign up for a YouTube membership. There's patreon.com/BostonBrian. Other than that, absolutely nothing sold to you, no ads, nothing hidden behind a paywall. Don't charge for the Substack. So it's basically all 100% viewer contributions that keep this going, like this one, like from Bobby Slack. Appreciate you, Bobby Slack. Shout out to you, man. Slava Ukraini, heroyam slava to you. Love you, brother. Love to all my fellow Bryantologists. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you always for watching and contributing. What's up, Carol? Appreciate you. Go Pats today. And again, a lot of people probably having some mixed emotions, but as we always say, it's, you gotta take the time to to get your mind right. You got to take the time for yourself. And if it's a book that does it, if it's a movie that does it, if it's a walk with your dog that does it, if it's sports that does it, then, take your time, do what's right for you. Make sure you're taking the time to kind of recuperate. You're not always diving into the nonsense and the bullshit that's taking place. So I understand both sides of the conversation today, believe me, but I also want to make sure that you guys are taking the time for yourself. So appreciate it. Lots to talk about today, lots to go on. We got some good news here going on with the special elections that we've been talking about with the Democrats. Seems like that is continuing. Definite bad news for the Republicans, as that kind of the theme continues to go as well. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be speaking about obviously what's been taking place in on the streets of ICE and why filming and following is so important right now, in that, we have so many of these videotapes and people have, rightly been held to account, at least on social media and at least on the news, because of the people out there filming and following. So I wanted to talk about that. Obviously, the U.S. skiers that were speaking out is a good clip, using your platform for good purposes on that. Sean Ryan, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sean Ryan, but he's now speaking up about against Trump and the Epstein files. He's another one that kind of led us into this situation, but now is like all of a sudden seeing the light. But it goes along the lines of, Donald Trump's not going to get this to go back underneath the rug. Like he's not going to sweep this away and have everybody just kind of forget about it. And you can see this by the people, at least, even on the right-hand side that are talking about things. So we'll be talking about that. And then a lot of idiots that are going to be trying to, defend Donald Trump's posting of what was obviously a racist and bigoted post. So we got Greg Kelly on Newsmax that's going to try his best. And then we got Benny Johnson's going to try his best to try to excuse it and give excuses. And then we got a few clips. Bill Maher kind of going in on Trump. Again, somebody we give absolutely no flowers to that I believe is in part directly responsible for what we're seeing right now. But again, along the lines of people that are speaking out and how difficult it's going to be for not only the Republicans heading into midterms, but Donald Trump and his cronies to get rid of this, whole investigation and obviously the racist post, and to get one over on the country by that, it's not going to be that easy. So we'll be taking a look at that. And then I really wanted to dive into these two clips here because we have, a couple clips from LBC, and they're talking about not only the Epstein files, but also the Obama post. And I want you to really hear the distinct difference in the way that, it's being talked about on media here between Fox News, OAN, RSBN, Newsmax, whoever it is, even if it's the more, what they're considered liberal leaning stations, and the way that they're talking about it. Or demanding accountability and action in the way that they're speaking about it here, because it seems to me like it's a 180 difference in the way that things and accountability is being seeked out here, seeked out in other countries. And then I also want to take a look at how Russia's army just got smaller. Another Preston Stewart video, and the Ukrainians are claiming some pretty big successes in a month and at a time during the war, where typically the successes and the numbers don't tend to creep up like this. You know what I mean? So when it's cold, when it's snowy, when, movements are inhibited and people are just trying to stay warm, typically in a time like this in war, more deaths come from, hypothermia, more deaths come from trench foot and diseases and stuff flowing around the front lines than do come from like, the battles and stuff like that. So to see that the Ukrainian numbers are up to where they are, even at a time like this, especially when we're going to see soon the weather start changing, the actions start picking back up. So where those numbers go from here is only probably to the moon. So I want to be taking a look at that. Obviously, some ongoing troubles and difficulties for the Russian military, and that's good for us. Who else do we got here? Because I believe John Ossoff. Yeah, I got a clip here from John Ossoff, who also had something to say about what's going on lately, and obviously Donald Trump's post about Obama. So we got a lot to dive into. What do you say we start off with some good news here? The good news in being the Democrats are continuing to kick ass in places that they normally wouldn't kick ass in, right? So because of what has happened with the tariffs, because of what's happened with ICE and immigration, because of what's happened with, Greenland, what happened with Venezuela, what's going on with the NATO allies, right? That is all pissing off people to a large extent, regardless of where you are positioned in this country. So we're continuing to see that, whether it's Mississippi, Georgia, we saw New Jersey, we saw California have successes, all of these different, counties and different states kicking ass and leaning heavily towards Democrats, where it could have been a plus 30 win for Donald Trump or a plus 15 or 20 win for the Republicans in past elections. Now we're seeing things like this because Democrat Chastity Martinez has won the Louisiana HD 60 special election, defeating Republican Brad Daigle on the and holding the seat. Martinez won 63 to 37%. Trump carried this district by 13 points in 2024. Another major Democratic overperformance. And again, these elections by themselves really aren't the big news line, the headlines. What we're talking about is the consistency seen here in places that typically are known as Republican strongholds, right? Places that the Republicans could normally count on for victories, even when they are underperforming, even when the rest of the populace is pissed off at them and they're not seeing the polling or the numbers in other places. They could count on these places. Now they're not being able to count on these places. Now they're seeing that not only has it gone from a plus 13 in favor of Trump, but now they're getting their asses kicked to the tune of 63% to 37%. So I think this was something like I forget what the exact number was, but say like a 30-something point swing. There's a couple other things because Adam Cochran kind of chimed in here. I believe he's a lawyer, chimed in on Twitter saying another astounding defeat for Republicans in a red district. This is why Trump is freaking out about elections and why we should expect every attempt for him to interfere. Exactly what we've been saying here on Blunt Politics. Not clear on what the exact plan is, or even if there is an exact plan knowing this regime, but the overarching goal absolutely being to put a fucking twig, to put a big branch in the spokes of the bicycle that are elections in this country, especially coming up to midterms where they know they're going to be outperformed in every fucking facet of the election. Right. So this is what we've been seeing in, with the voter rolls. This is what we've been seeing in Fulton County. This is what we've been seeing with the quid pro quos saying, hey, give us this information and that information, the redistricting, the attempts to stop the redistricting by Democrats. It's that it all falls in line. But, we have to stay vigilant to make sure that, we can stay on top of anything that does become overtly obvious to us, as far as like a plan or like a succinct kind of, goal that they have, or if it's just kind of to disrupt at any point and at all points, sticking ice at different polling locations to make sure that, people that are afraid, even if they are going through the asylum process, or even if they have, received their citizenship legally, that they will not be fucking put on the ground, that they won't be deported. So maybe they're going to stay home, right? The changing of the laws with the, the early mailing voting and the way that they're going to judge the dates on the ballots and stuff like that. Like, this is all little fucking ploys that they're trying to do that are going to add up to a big fucking problem if we let it happen without calling it out. Right. So I just want to dive into this real quick because Kyle goes into a little bit more detail about this victory. As you can see titled here, Democrats blow out Republican in deep red Louisiana. So I just wanted to dive into the first minute or two of this where he kind of, talks about the importance. And obviously, I think he comes up with more specific numbers to tell you in detail just how big the victory was. Right. So as we've been saying here, even if the Democrats haven't been outright winning the elections, the overperformance and say gaining of 20, 30 points in a certain direction is very telling to the GOP, very telling, to the leadership that looks at this type of stuff going into midterms. So it doesn't even have to necessarily be an overwhelming victory for the Democrats, but just the change from say, for example, a Trump 20 district to now it's only a Trump 2 district or 1 district. You know what I mean? So that change right there, even though it's not an outright win, definitely sends a fucking message. So let's just dive into the first minute or two here. We got a ton more to go into as far as coverage of ICE and Donald Trump's racist post and, these idiots and morons trying to defend it. So stick with us, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you would. A lot of people watching don't subscribe, and then contribute if you're in the financial position to do so. I would very much appreciate it. So thanks, guys. Let's dive into this real quick from Kyle Kalinske talking about that Democrat win in Louisiana.
All right, y'all. It happened again, man. It happened again. And if I'm being honest, I don't think it's going to stop. I think it's going to keep going. I think, if anything, it's going to get more pronounced as time goes by. But we have another special election where Democrats absolutely trounced the Republicans. And
again, that's another big point that we have to make. It's not just another victory, right? It's just not another victory in a deep red state. It's not just another victory in a deep red district. It is a fucking trouncing. This was a bitch smack. Right, this was a fucking hold on. You like this. My opponent must have been on drugs, and we just walked all over him, type of thing. You know what I mean? So that point of it is huge to get across as well.
Can only be described.
Oh, thank you, JD. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. Make sure the 5 gifted and anybody else in the chat, we're reaching out to JD and thanking him for his amazing contributions and handing out those memberships. Thank you, JD. Very much appreciated. Let's go.
As a humiliating fashion. So last time we talked about this, there was an election in Texas that the Democrats last held the seat in like 1990 or something preposterous like that.
Well, we've seen Texas, we've seen Georgia, we've seen Mississippi, right? And there's been others too. I know I'm probably leaving out a few. There was the special election that we saw in California. Like I said, there was New Jersey, and even if it's typically a blue state, there are still purple and red districts within those. So even winning within those is a huge story, even if we're talking about what is, widely known, as a bluer state, right?
And they wound up winning pretty convincingly. Well, now we have a Louisiana State House primary, or a special election primary, House 60. And you have Chastity Martinez, the Democrat, beats the Republican Brad Daigle. But get this. So this is a Trump plus 13 district, and the Democrat ended up winning by 27 points.
Jesus
27. Christ. So that's a 40.
I was going to say, so we're talking like a 40-point swing, right? Somewhere in that range. I think I heard 35, 36, somewhere between 35 and 40 points. I think I've kind of heard reported and spoken about. But that is a fucking massive swing, right? That is a huge, huge problem for the GOP, especially where we're focusing on Louisiana in this district with the people running at that margins. Like, that's just typically not something that they can count on seeing, right? They, as we were saying, they typically count on these specific areas for the votes, no matter what, right? These are the kind of Trump no matter what, red no matter what districts, and it's just been a complete reversal in this second administration here from what they thought they were going to get.
Swing, y'all. 40-point swing. So look, by that logic, if you look at that math, there's not a single safe Republican seat in the entire goddamn country. Okay? I mean, you're looking at, you got to be like Republican plus 30 or more to actually feel comfortable and confident right now.
And how many of those exist? I'm not saying they don't exist, but how many of them can the GOP consistently count on up to this point? And as we've seen from different polls that we've shown on CNN, and as much as I don't take a ton of stock in polling because of, I've never really bought into the fact that, okay, let me ask 1,200 people or 1,500 people or even, more than that, what they think, and then try to use that as a representation of what the entire, like, I've never really bought into polling as the way it's typically done. But, sometimes it's close and sometimes there is something that you can look at in these polling. But what we're really looking at is the election results themselves. And those don't lie, right? And so it's been very consistent up until this point on what people are thinking, feeling, and saying, and which way they're not going to vote, in the upcoming elections, midterms and general.
And what we're seeing is even where Republicans decided to gerrymander, now that's backfiring too, where I read an article this week that even where Republicans...
Because of the Hispanic vote. I'm not sure if that's what he's going to go on to say, but that's a huge factor right now, because when all these Republican districts and all these idiots were doing the redistricting, what they were seeing was the uptick in Latinos, in Spanish voters voting for the Republican Party. This is when, Donald Trump was out on the campaign trail. This is when Donald Trump was running again, and we were all like shocked at kind of, the people that were showing up to the event considering what he was saying. Well, they were all thinking that was going to continue. That was going to continue to grow and explode. And what's happened is there's been a complete reversal in that, obviously, considering what ICE and DHS and Border Patrol have been undertaking, right? I mean, it just goes right in line with that. But now those redistricts, the thing they were redistricting on based on those numbers aren't the numbers anymore. So now the redistricting is all fucked up, and they're all fucking worried about that is a big problem too.
Gerrymandered, it looks like Democrats could still pick up 3 seats because of basically the snapback when it comes to certain demographics. So like Hispanics, for example, they voted more for Trump than any Republican in modern history. Well, now not only did they revert to the mean, where now they're supporting Democrats, they're supporting them more than they did in 2016, right? So it's not only reverting to the mean, it is more than reverting to the mean. And that's across the board when it comes to Hispanics, when it comes to independents, when it comes to young people. We're witnessing like the mass collapse of MAGA right in front of our eyes. And look, it should come as no surprise to people when these people have carte blanche and when they hold every lever of power, look at what they do with it. The immediate thing they did, what did Trump do immediately?
Well, isn't that's kind of the historical the way that it's gone. That's the historical trend, right? The Republicans get in, they demolish the economy, they ruin this, that, and the other thing, and then Democrats have to come in and fucking clean up the mess and then rebuild this, that, and the other thing. And when they do, somehow the country gets fucking bored or mad or something happens, and then all of a sudden Republicans back in and they get, they destroy the economy. We've been in this fucking cycle and trend for quite some time now. But again, along the lines of how big these victories are, is a huge point to make. It's not just where they are. It's not just like how the string of them that have come in fucking succession here. It's how big the victories are too. So I just wanted to make that a point. But on to this, the next topic, and kind of something that we've been talking about a lot here. And I don't typically play videos that I've made. I'm not that fucking centered. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know what the correct word for it, a term for it is, but it's just not something that I typically do. But in this case, here's another video that seems like every day I wake up to a different video where it just fucking enrages you to know it, to fucking the nth degree. And it just pisses you off, right? But again, these situations in which are only captured and we only know about because people are out there with a cell phone or with a camera recording what happens. And as we've been saying for a long time, hashtag film and follow. Make sure that you're out there, whether you're a legal observer or whether you're just out there trying to help the community. Whatever it is, you're a big reason as to why we have a lot of the footage, why fucking these people haven't been getting allowed to get away, to a large part, to a certain degree, at least with the crimes that they've committed. I know we haven't seen justice and accountability to the extent that we want by any stretch of the imagination, but at least we know who they are. We know that the actions happened. We have the fucking video evidence that will not die, that will be here forever, right? At least we have that much, and that's because people are out there in the communities. But I just wanted to play this because here's just another example of another video that is only known out there because of the women, because of the woman that was videoing, and not only that, but the treatment of the person. And I don't know what the person was picked up for. I don't know what they were wanted for, if they were wanted at all. But again, the treatment of people, this is not how they're supposed to be treated. And again, it seems to have filtered down to much more than just DHS, ICE, and Border Patrol. Because as you'll see in this video, these are just sheriffs. They're not masked, right? They're just sheriffs. And the way that they're treating this person, the way that they're treating this guy is exactly in line with the way that ICE or DHS and the masked motherfuckers would be treating them, right? And you can see that they're just as pissed off when they notice that they're being fucking filmed and they can't continue to beat this guy like the woman says that they did, right? So it might have saved that guy's life, just this lady turning on the camera. And I just want to play this video here. And you know what? I don't know. I hate playing myself on the show. I just think that's so fucking stupid. So I'm going to go, let me see if I can go to Instagram and I'll just play the original video because I'm not that vain. I don't think that I have to play my own face on my own show. I think that's kind of stupid. I apologize. All right. Let me just see here if I can find the, can you go to my activity? Let's see here. Let me see if I can find the video now. Likes, comments, stories, replies. I don't think I liked the video. Let's see. My apologies. And I have a problem with, nope, that's not it either. Let's see here. Comments, story replies, interactions. How can I do this without being vain? Give me a second. Notifications. Let me do this one. I tagged her so I can go to her page. All right, here we go. I'm going to share this tab instead. For some reason, I don't like that whole thing. Let me see if I can find it on the page here. Here we go, right here. Oh, wait, that's mine too. All right. Well, fuck it. I guess there's no other way for me to do it. My apologies. Here we go.
And just the latest example to show why every...
Yeah, we'll start from the beginning. Here we go.
So day, I don't know, fucking 897 in a row waking up to a video in which it makes me want to burn the fucking whole thing down. And just the latest example to show why every single motherfucking American and person in this country needs to be out there with a camera, filming, following, impeding every possible opportunity these motherfuckers, these unprofessional Gestapo Nazi fucking pricks have out there. Because if this lady wasn't filming, God knows what else would have happened to this guy. God knows what else would have fucking been done to this guy.
Oh, now you all want to treat him right. Y'all just went and straight treated him like a fucking rag doll. Imagine if I wasn't here. Imagine if I wasn't here.
These motherfuckers don't even understand what he's saying. They don't even understand fucking Spanish. The people tasked to go out there and round up black and brown people don't even understand the fucking language these people are speaking. But the bystanders do. The lady filming does. And thank fucking God she was there, because God knows what would have been done to this guy if she wasn't.
Oh, if you weren't here, it would have happened the same.
Yep. No puedo. They did him wrong. They did him fucking wrong. They beat him. They beat that man. He's of color. They beat him. Hey, look at him. Look at them. I mean, he's underneath the car. I can't record and not do this, because if I don't record it, then they're going to do more harm to him. They've already done a lot.
And that's exactly where the fuck we are in this country. If you don't.
All right, we don't have to watch the whole thing, like I said. But, I mean, as you can hear the woman say, you know, they beat this man. They treated him like a rag doll. You know what I mean? If before she turned on the camera, before she said anything, before she did anything, you know, they were treating him much more aggressively than they were even in that fucking footage. And again, those were sheriffs. Those weren't ICE or DHS or Border Patrol. They weren't in masks. And again, I've never subscribed to the, you know, the all cops are bad, all cops are bastards. I'd say maybe a lot of cops are bastards. And we know that a lot of the cops are coming from military backgrounds. And we know that a lot of the military people, you know, that have military backgrounds, and considering how much Fox News is played on the bases, we know which way is kind of favored as far as the military is concerned. So it seems like it's filtering down at this point. Right. It seems like it's not just ICE, Border Patrol, DHS, but also now the local and state law enforcement that are actively tasked to help and assist in the roundup of brown and black people. And again, you can hear the woman in the thing say, "Hey, fucking, you know, what would happen if I wasn't here? What would happen if I wasn't filming?" And she's 100% fucking right. She's 100% fucking right. All right. So again, like I said, I'm not going to dive into where'd it go? Sorry. I'm not going to dive into too much of the video, because it's the only one that I could find was the one that I had there. But, you know, as far as people calling this shit out, people are using their platforms for good. People are using their platforms in the right way, and it's really pissing off Republicans. Seem to really piss off the president of the United States. That, you know, people in positions in front of cameras and that have profiles right now are using it to speak up against the injustice, you know, against the fascism, against the authoritarian push that we've seen in this country right now. And again, if you go on Twitter, it is all over the place. This kid and his buddy, you know, they want him removed. They want him thrown out. They want him to leave the United States. They want him fucking kicked out of Italy. Donald Trump's posting about him. But, you know, I just want to play at least some of the comments so you guys can hear what really pissed off the Republican Party and what really ticked off the president to a point that he felt it necessary to post about it. And these were some of the comments here.
I feel heartbroken about what's happened in the United States when, you know, I'm pretty sure you're referencing ICE and some of the protests and things like that. I think that as a country, we need to focus on respecting everybody's rights and making sure that we're treating our citizens as well as anybody with love and respect. And I hope that when people look at athletes compete in the Olympics, they realize that that's the America that we're trying to represent.
It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now, I think. It's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. If it aligns with my moral values, I feel like I'm representing it. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S. So yeah, I just kind of want to do it for my friends and my family and the people that support me getting here.
And again, pretty mundane, like pretty normal, typical, living in reality type of statements. Nothing crazy, you know, not fucking talking about revolution or coups or anything fucking drastic like that. Just like, you know, the bare minimum of, hey, right now there's shit going on in the country. And if we don't sit here and talk about it, if we don't bring it up, you know, me wearing this flag and representing my country, considering what's happening right now, I couldn't take this position. I couldn't sit at this microphone without at least referencing it, right? And good on him for doing it. But this isn't like, you know, again, somebody calling for outright revolution or anything like that. But that's what you would think if you went anywhere near Twitter, or if you talked to Donald Trump or anybody in his administration or cabinet. That's what they think this is. They think this is outright call for a coup and a revolution, and these should be stripped of all titles and medals and fucking the flags and everything like that. They're calling for the most harsh action you could possibly imagine in this. And again, it's just living in reality. It's just what people are recognizing, not only inside the United States, but people that are watching all over the world are also saying similar, if not more drastic and more aggressive things, considering, you know, what they've seen on the news. It continues to happen day after day in LA, Minneapolis, New York, Boston, Maine, wherever it may be, all over the fucking place. And I know I'm leaving places out, but that just goes to show the extent and the widespread nature of the actions that are taking place in the United States right now. So, you know, good to see people using their platform. Good to see people calling this stuff out. But we need to make sure that everybody is out there doing their part, whether you're a legal observer, whether you have some free time on your hands in the areas and where ICE is most active, to get out there and film every interaction, every altercation, whatever it may be. Because you never know when it's your video. You never know when it's your fucking singular piece of footage that could crack a case, that could change history, that could fucking go to lead to, further legislation, whatever it may be, or just to hold somebody accountable. Just the bare minimum, just to fucking get the news out there, just to get the story out there, then you guys are doing your part. And I want to say thank you for everybody that's out there doing that. And let's make sure we continue to expose these fools, whether it's sheriffs, whether it's fucking local, state, and law enforcement, or whether it's DHS, ICE, or Border Patrol. Anybody, treating people like that, anybody committing injustices, talking about how they don't need to give somebody their due process, like was said in that video. We don't have to tell them why we're taking them in. We don't have to tell them why we're fucking arresting them. Well, yeah, the fuck you do. You know what I mean? Just because you can't speak, fucking learn Spanish then. If you're in a fucking heavily populated Spanish area as a police officer, learn some fucking Spanish so you can communicate with the people. Wouldn't that make it a little easier? Because they couldn't understand what he was saying. He was talking about his family, how he had a family, how he had kids. Cops didn't understand what he was saying, but the fucking woman filming behind the scenes did. She habla español. So, just to kind of drill it down on how important it is and how important it has been. And this is now going on something like a year that we've been calling for people to get out there and actively film, follow, make sure these people know exactly what side of history you stand on. And there's a few more people out there, at least coming to see the light at this point. Sean Ryan being one of them. If we could dive into this real quick. Sean Ryan has a hugely popular podcast, former CIA, former military contractor, always known for having, whether it's the guy that claims to have killed bin Laden or just all high profile people on his podcast. I think he's got something like 5 or 6 million subscribers or followers or whatever the fuck nowadays. But, even he now is pushing back on what he put in place is the only way that I could really put it into terms, because another one of these people that, didn't like Kamala, didn't want to do this, talks about the woke, this, that, and the other thing, a military junkie, gun nut, the kind of the Nate from Valhalla, that kid that we check on his channel all the time, kind of that type of crew watches this. But he's now speaking up against the Epstein files and at least what the Trump administration is doing and telling them as far as the lies and the bullshit. And again, this is somebody, Donald Trump, that Sean Ryan actively fucking went out there and said was probably the best option. I don't know if he said it in those terms. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm sure there's instances that we could pull up where he was definitely heavily favoring the Republicans in the election. So now he's seeing the light of the 30,000 lies from Donald Trump's first term, right? Now he's seeing the light of the friend of Jeffrey Epstein for 25 years. All of a sudden, now he's seeing the light of this guy that tried to overthrow the government and tried to stop the counting and certification of a free and fair election. The guy that tried to fucking implant his own, fake electors in there. Now, all of a sudden, the light is getting bright enough for people. The cover-up that's been taking place is what's now sucking them into that fucking, that mosquito trap. Now they're starting to see the light, and they're like, oh, Jesus Christ, we've been bamboozled here. Looks like these guys are all of a sudden just lying to us. Like, how could they do this? Well, gee, I wonder. It's almost like the other side was telling you that exact thing was going to happen for the last, 10, 11 years at this point. But this is Pro MAGA podcaster Sean Ryan put the GOP and the Trump administration on blast this week while condemning the lack of concrete action taken to find justice for the Epstein victims. Man, it's been a hell of a week already. Let's just play the video. I'll play the video and then we'll get back in the reading. This is what he put on X. Tomorrow, 9 a.m., I'll be going live with Ro Khanna for a special conversation diving into current events and the latest developments surrounding the Epstein files. This will mark the first ever live recorded episode of the Sean Ryan Show, streamed exclusively on Patreon, yada, yada, yada. But let's just dive into a couple of the comments that he made regarding the Epstein files and the cover-up by the Trump administration. And apparently now all of these pro-MAGA people, like we've been saying, this is part of the, the MAGA descent, the MAGA civil war, the Republican civil war even. And where are these people now going to go? If it's not MAGA, who's next? Is it Nick Fuentes? Is everybody going America first? We need to keep our eyes open. We need to stay vigilant because the next iteration of MAGA is going to be worse. It's not going to be more favorable to the American people. I'm telling you, the people that are left that are going to want to follow these policies are going to be the most sycophantic, the most deranged, and the most depraved of the people. And it surprises me, and it always will surprise me. And I think that's going to be something, again, we always talk about how, like, the psychology of propaganda, the psychology of MAGA, the MAGA movement should be studied for a long time. Well, when you talk about Sean Ryan, somebody that is clearly intelligent, right? Clearly extremely capable, again, ex-CIA, ex-military, ex-Navy SEAL, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I know he's a very well acclaimed, military personnel member. Let's put it that way. So, somebody that can have that type of fucking skill set, somebody that has that knowledge, somebody that should be trained in the art of propaganda, in combating propaganda, in recognizing tradecraft, right? Recognizing just, these little bits and pieces and breadcrumbs that are led to throw you off the trail. Like, these are the people that have so much money and time and attention, put into them and giving them the skill set to do this. And even people like him are bamboozled at every turn and are find themselves on the wrong side of history and can't see what we have seen in front of our faces for quite some time. And how the fuck does that happen? How does a moron like me, right? An uneducated, to the large extent, blue-collar moron, doing construction, roofing, plumbing, everything I possibly can to make a buck. Like, how is it obvious for me, and how was I able to fight through it? Because I know he knows history. It's not just my love of history that gives me a leg up in this. I know he knows his history. A lot of military people love military history and love that type of stuff and know about it. So that's not it. What is it? What is it that you guys in the chat, like Sussy and Jordan and like Dyslexic Fingers and like Nola and like Chris, right? And Victor and all you guys, like, how do you guys see it? But, the ex-CIA, the ex-Navy SEAL, the people trained in fucking warcraft, right? And spycraft and mental warfare and mental mind games, and how it could be used, tactically by enemies to try to dissuade you or persuade you. Like, it's crazy to me that these are the people that still, to this extent, right? And it seems to be coming out of the fog to, for what it's worth. But how could you even to this point expect that to happen? Like, how did you expect these files to be released to an extent that was going to come, they're going to lead to prosecutions or investigations with the people that you now are in charge? Like, how? I don't get it. I really don't. But this is what he put on Twitter, and let's see if we can, see if we agree with or disagree with some of his assessments here.
Man, it's been a hell of a week already. I haven't even got to talk about this yet, but because all the other stuff that's been going on, but man, this Epstein file stuff. Whoa. Is it even real? Unfortunately, probably so. And that's why we continue to fight to get the rest of this stuff out. But man, the stuff that's out, I mean, so many powerful people that maybe some of us respected. And then a lot of people that I think all of us knew were evil, disgusting human beings. But there were a lot of surprises in there, and it was a lot more horrific than I think any of us could have imagined. And what does it all mean? What is it proven? I don't know. I don't even know what's real yet, because it's so bad. It's so disgusting.
Like, you can see the pretzel being formed in the head of these people. Like, you can see the mental gymnastics taking place, right? Like that. I don't know what's real at this point. Like, I just can't help but think that's directly associated with everything that Donald Trump's name comes up in, right? The 38,000 plus times that Donald Trump's name is mentioned. I just can't help but directly relate that sentence, that portion of this video, to that. Like, I don't know what's real. Like, oh, it's just so hard for me to know what's real, because the guy that I trusted, the guy that I voted for and told you guys to vote for, that was supposed to release all these things, like, not only is he, engaged in the fucking cover-up and leading the cover-up, but now he's named in it 40,000 times. Like, oh, geez, what's real and what's not real? Like, oh, I just don't even know anymore. But you can tell that he does, on the other hand, know that it's definitely fucking real and that he should be saying something about it and that it has affected him to a certain extent. But he's just like, he's doing that internal fucking fight is like, it's happening literally in front of our eyes. It's wild to watch.
It's just so appalling, out of this world, that and it's everywhere. It's everywhere you look. Everybody's talking about it. It's all over the internet. I mean, and that's more specifically what I'm talking about, is all over the internet. I mean, it almost makes you wonder if it's some type of a algorithm cage. I'm talking about myself, actually. At first I was like, am I in some type of an algorithm cage? Am I the only one being fed this, or me and my team?
No, it's just that many people that give a shit. It's just that many people that are speaking about it. It's just that many people that want to see justice and accountability. And again, that's another aspect, another example of why Donald Trump is not going to sweep this back under the rug, no matter how hard he tries, no matter how many women he tells to smile, right? No matter how many fucking times he tries to obfuscate from a question about what the victim should see as far as accountability. It's not going to work. And he's talking about it right here. He can't get away from it. Maybe even as much as he wanted to get away from it and didn't want to talk about it. It's all over the algorithm. It's all over his feed. It's all over this site and that site. And the news is talking about it. Fucking damn right they are. You can't on one hand talk about how crazy and egregious the shit that you read was and then be surprised on the other hand that people are talking about it. Makes no fucking sense. Of course people are talking about it and demanding answers. The same way that you and all the other fucking people were claiming to be demanding answers from like Dan Bongino that said he was going to go in there and release the information. Now all of a sudden he's sitting back in his fucking podcast seat calling himself the Podfather, haven't done a fucking thing.
The only ones being fed this, because it makes you wonder if you're getting tricked into calling out false accusations that maybe nobody else saw, because they can do that shit. They can trap you.
Calling out false accusations that nobody else saw. I don't know what that means. False accusations that nobody else saw? As far as what? I mean, are we talking about the phone in line allegations that, again, should be fucking every penny that could possibly be spent on an investigation and getting to the bottom of those, every single one of those allegations, and people that called in and going back and corroborating or, confirming the stories for anybody that's still around, alive, and can be fucking questioned? That's what should happen. That's what needs to happen. But that's exactly what's not happening. That's the opposite of what Todd Blanche says is going to happen. So this like, oh, geez, I don't know what's going to happen. We should do something, but it's not happening, but we should. Oh, what is it bad? Is it good? I don't know. He's like, you can see the pretzel being formed like, which way do I go?
In an algorithm cage and feed you what they want and everybody around you. Now, I don't think that's what's happening. I'm just saying it's a
Then why bring it up? Why bring it up? If you know what's going on, if you don't think that's what's happening, why interject that into the zeitgeist? Why even bring up that possibility? Why not just talk about the cover-up that you see happening, which I believe he goes into?
Possibility, because it would discredit you. I think it's all real. I think we all knew it was going to be horrific, and we don't even know the half of it, but it is worse than we were all expecting. But I'll tell you one thing that it has proved. Watching the administration dodge it and try to hurry it up and move along. I just saw today they don't think the American people should be talking about this anymore. Well, I got news for you. The American people are the ones that voted you in. We're the ones that voted you in, and we told you what we wanted before your ass got in there. And you're not.
Think of the fucking mental gymnastics again. Think of the fucking hypocrisy and the ridiculousness of what he's saying right here. Right? Again, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend for over 20 years. A guy known for having the underage girls poached from his Mar-a-Lago spa to be used at Jeffrey Epstein's sex parties, right? A guy who had Jeffrey Epstein in his membership active until 2007. A guy that flew on the fucking jet. A guy listed 38,000 times in these files. A guy that clearly wanted to have sex with his own daughter, said it was fucking okay to grab women by the crotch without their consent, and had sex with a porn star 5 months after his fucking wife gave birth to his son. And the list goes on. That's not even the tip of the iceberg as far as that's concerned. That's the guy that he's now saying, hey, we voted you in because we thought that you were going to do the right thing about the Epstein files. What kind of, what world do you need to be living in? That you need to be like, hey, let's vote in Jeffrey Epstein's best friend and the guy that definitely has the most reasons to cover up this shit. Let's get him in there because we think that's going to be the best way to get the information out of the Epstein files. Like, what warped fucking way of thinking brought you and led you to that conclusion that was the way, the best route to get to this information? And now all of a sudden you're like totally taken aback that the guy pictured, filmed with, partied with, fucking, who knows what type of financial corruption and chaos ensued between these two assholes, even above and beyond the sexual crimes committed. Who knows what else they're trying to cover up for? Who knows who else they're trying to cover up for? And now all of a sudden these people are coming to the light like, oh, I can't believe Epstein's best friend would actually lead in a cover-up of all of the Epstein files that he's in 40,000 plus times. Jesus Christ. I mean, as a CIA and an ex-Navy SEAL, couldn't have seen that coming, couldn't you, Sean?
Doing it. None of these people that we elected. It's pathetic. And so what it shows is a two-tiered justice system, just like we all suspected and we've been talking about for years. The two-tier justice system.
I'm sorry. Now, who originally started talking about that? Like, what was the original, when people were talking about the two-tiered justice system? I'm sure it wasn't the right? I'm sure it wasn't these people. I'm sure it was definitely people talking about, the fucking injustices perpetrated upon brown and black people as far as being rounded up and incarcerated at a larger rate, at a higher rate. Like the white people being able to, to pay their way out of these fucking crimes. Meanwhile, the people that don't have it get locked up for a longer period of time. Like that's kind of where I believe the two-tier justice system type of talking point came in. And now all of a sudden it's trying to be hijacked by these fuckers.
Why would you not investigate every single son of a bitch that went to that island?
You must be asking Todd Blanche and Pam Bondi directly. I know you're not asking your fans. I know you're not asking the people watching this. So you might as well call out Todd Blanche and call out Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Donald Trump while you're at it, because that's exactly who you're talking to. You're speaking to them directly. The people, again, that you voted for, that you put in power. This is what you wanted. Not only are you responsible for this, but also what's taking place on the streets of the United States. That's you, buddy. That's you.
Doesn't mean they're all guilty. Doesn't mean that at all. But it at least calls for some type of investigation, not just sweeping the shit under the rug like they always do.
No. That's quite clearly and almost word for word what Donald Trump said this country should be doing. And I think this was a couple days ago, so this is probably made February 5th. So yeah, this was 3 days ago. So this is before, I believe, Donald Trump told Caitlin Collins to smile, and that kind of whole situation interaction happened. So I'd be curious to see. Does he have another video? No, I'd be curious to see if he has any comments, further comments regarding this after Donald Trump said now that we basically do have to move on and that the country doesn't want to talk about it even further, right? And again, I just want to see if he calls out anybody else, and then we'll dive on.
And they always have done. They bat this shit around. They get people all fired up. And then there's no justice. None. I'll tell you what, though. There sure as hell would be if it would have been me and you.
Again, so do you feel gullible? Do you feel fucking lied to? Do you feel betrayed at all? Again, by the administration you're responsible for putting in power. Now, again, blatantly disregarding their promises made to you and made to the people. A whole long list. I think there was a list on Twitter the other day that somebody put out of like fucking 2 or 3 pages of promises and things that Donald Trump said he was going to accomplish and do that he has yet to even fucking talk about, never mind actually accomplish. So again, Sean Ryan looks like he's coming around, looks like he's coming out of the fog, but he definitely doesn't like that he's seemingly on the wrong side of history on this one. But, other people that love to find themselves on the wrong side of history, Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly, as you would expect, is now trying to get on his hands and knees to, again, defend Donald Trump for his racist, ridiculous post, not only during Black History Month, but at any point in time, if that was posted to the president's account, would be absolutely discrediting, should be cause for removal at no matter what. But again, Greg Kelly thinks it's something that he is going to defend, laugh at, mock as a white man. He thinks he has the ability in this situation as a white man to talk about how people shouldn't be outraged at the fact that the Obamas were again depicted as gorillas and apes in this little slideshow or movie or whatever the fuck is. You know what I mean? Even if other people and other, Democrats and what do you call them? Fucking creators or whatever are depicted as animals, doesn't matter. There's a specific reason as to why the Obamas are those two specific animals. So the fact that everybody else is something else, I don't give a fuck. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They made J.B. Pritzker the elephant because he's fat and because he's a bigger man, and they want to fucking make fun of that. So they're doing things to make fun of them, right? And there's a specific reason you can tell they thought about it as to why the Obamas were who they were in this, right? It's crazy. So again, this is real quick. This is only about 2 minutes of a segment that Greg Kelly put out trying to defend, again, what was the indefensible, so indefensible that even Trump himself and his administration had to take this off their website because of the backlash from Republicans, not from Democrats, but by Republicans. They were so fucking pissed off. They were so fucking disgusted in this and ashamed that he posted it, even though this is like, I don't know, probably the fourth most racist thing he's ever done, or fifth at this point. Like how this is much different than the whole birth certificate thing is beyond me, right? I mean, the shit that he said about them in the past, just the whole fucking 9 yards of things that he said again. But here's Greg Kelly once again trying to defend it, and then Benny Johnson's going to try to one up Greg Kelly after this. So let's get into it and call this bullshit out here. Play. Oh shit! I can't play the sound on that, can I? Oh, it would be good if I did play it on the screen as well. All right, here we go. So obviously this is Greg, and everybody all on the right wing is doing the same thing here. Benny Johnson does the same thing. He says, well, at least if I play the whole thing, right? Let me just play the whole thing, and maybe if they see that it's part of like a bigger thing that is trying to, again, demonize and make fun of Democrats, that this will somehow get Donald Trump off the hook, right? But all they're doing is just showing their ass even more, right? And how disgusted and depraved they are and childish and fucking like insane this type of shit is. And even more insane for it to be part of the president's fucking like feed. And even more insane for the president to take it off his feed and put it onto his own account. But again, Greg Kelly's going to sit here and try to defend it. And I'm just waiting for the, here we go. They were playing the a Weemaware song in the background, and I didn't want to get a copyright strike, so my apologies. Oh, shut up. Christ's sakes, I don't want to get a strike.
Some folks get a little bit touchy when certain human beings are represented by certain animals.
I'm sorry, Greg. Can you fucking repeat that one? Just real quick, repeat that one.
Kind of fun, kind of cute. But some folks get a little bit touchy when certain human beings are represented by certain animals.
Jesus Christ. Does he have his tap shoes on? Is he going tap dancing? Because he fucking tiptoed around that one as much as he possibly could. But what he's trying to get across is, and what he meant to say was, a lot of the times, African Americans and black people get really fucking pissed off when you depict them as that old racist trope of being apes and monkeys. Like, that's exactly what he just said. But he tried as fucking hard as he possibly could to Michael Jackson moonwalk with a pair of tap shoes on around that without actually saying what he wanted to say. That was remarkable. That was remarkable. And he called it cute.
All right. Kind of fun, kind of cute. But some folks get a little bit touchy when certain human beings are represented by certain animals. I'm pretty kind of light and breezy about those things.
Yeah. Greg Kelly, as a white man, again, let's establish Greg Kelly as a white man is really fucking breezy and airy about these types of racist things. It really doesn't stick in his craw too much, right? Doesn't put a fucking burr under his saddle. He's not really bothered by these type of racist tropes. I wonder why, Greg. I wonder why Greg Kelly, as a fucking white man, wouldn't be bothered by the fact that Donald Trump pictured the Obamas as fucking apes and gorillas. It's something. It's got to be something that I'm missing. As for like, I don't know, maybe the color of his skin is why he's not that mad about it. But again, see how he's trying to make it seem like he has a dog in this fight? Like he's got a horse in this race? Like, well, I mean, I'm not really bothered by it, so I don't know why other people are. Jesus, Greg.
So what are we talking about? It's actually, well,
racism, blatant, in your face, fucking inexcusable. Doesn't matter who actually hit the fucking send button. Ultimately, it came and went on Donald Trump's account. He's the president of the United States. He is ultimately responsible for whatever gets posted on his site, regardless of who the fuck hit the send button. He's the moron that apparently, per his own words, said he didn't watch it. He's the moron that apparently either hired a fucking moron as a staffer that also didn't watch the whole thing, or even worse, hired a fucking racist white staffer that did see the whole thing and found incredible value in it, considering the fucking racist, bigoted pricks that surface on fucking Truth Social to follow Donald Trump's fucking diarrhea that he puts on there. So there's only two options. It's only fucking incompetence, or fucking straight fucking racism. And either way, it comes back to the incompetence and racism of Donald Trump. It's just, there's no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's ultimately responsible, regardless of what the fuck happened. And again, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't press send, believe me. I'm just saying none of the situations, none of the excuses they put out there excuse this anyway. None of it. So none of the bullshit stories of it. Oh, it's just the jungle, dude. Fucking, I've seen The Lion King, okay? This ain't a fucking scene in The Lion King that I'm familiar with. I don't remember fucking the gorillas and monkeys and shit beside Rafiki, right? Didn't look like Rafiki. Don't try to fucking get your Lion King bullshit over on me. You changing The Lion King, motherfuckers. All right? But he goes on.
It's not okay. It's just considered culturally not okay for certain people to look like certain animals. However,
okay, so what do you think that he's going to try to do? So far, he's been a white guy talking about how he's not that really perturbed, right? He's not that really upset by racist tropes against black people. I wonder why that would be. And now, what do you think the ridiculous fucking argument that he's going to make next? Right? Just in the chat. I'm going to give you a second. Just think about what he's talking about in like portraying people as animals. And let's think about his Lord and Savior, his Fuhrer, right? And maybe some of the things that he's portrayed as. But what's the one big distinction? What's the one big difference between Donald Trump and, say, I don't know, Barack and Michelle Obama? One pretty obvious difference that one could pretty much see right off the bat. One big difference. But he'll go on and try to use this absolutely moronic argument to justify that post against and the obvious historical fucking racist trope that was the most blatant of all time, possibly. And then listen to this argument of him trying to excuse that.
Other people, it's okay to look like any animal. Marjorie Taylor Greene, nobody had any. I'm kind of talking around this on purpose, okay?
You hear him? He's talking around this on purpose, and he actually fucking says it.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, during the State of the Union a couple of years ago, when she was yelling and screaming at Joe Biden, everybody remember that? And it was kind of in a certain type of coat and her blonde hair and whatever.
Yep,
and the whole country made fun of her the next day. Oh, she.
Now, again, is there one big distinction that we here at the Blunt Politics podcast could make? Right, that would differentiate what's taking place against, I don't know, Barack and Michelle Obama, and say anything that happens or is perpetrated against Marjorie Taylor Greene? Is there like just like an obvious physical difference that you see right away with your eyes, guys, that we could look at and basically look back and say, hey, there's really no historical reference as far as a trope and racism against white people and monkeys and apes. But there is against African Americans and black people, right? So again, that big distinction is pretty important here, Greg, because you're making yourself look like a real asshole while also bringing up some pretty cool references. Because I don't mind at all you now portraying Marjorie Taylor Greene as a monkey on your screen, and it's you doing it. This isn't me. This isn't me. This is now on Greg Kelly's Newsmax, just giving you one more look at how quite clearly Marjorie Taylor Greene looks like this monkey. You can't see it? Who can't see it? Can you not see the picture? Missing link. Yeah, Vicky says can't see it, Brian. Can everybody see the picture? Should be able to, right? I'm sorry, Vicky, if you can't see it. My apologies. I don't know if that's on my end or your end, but I think everything's working all right. Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, people in the chat saying you can see it. All right, my apologies. Maybe if you refresh, Vicky, or something, or just let me know if that's not what you're talking about. I just want to make sure that, nobody's having issues seeing it. But yeah, I have absolutely no qualms with Greg Kelly quite clearly showing this prominently displayed on his screen for quite some time. Because one can see the representation. I don't think it takes too much to actually see how quite clearly they look alike. So I'm okay with this, considering, again, white Marjorie Taylor Greene, clearly no racist trope associated with this. It's just quite clearly, hey, this is what you look like. So again, spot on, Greg. Appreciate you for playing it. But he goes on. It gets even worse and dumber.
Looks
Listen.
just like a monkey, right? That's not very nice, but, hey, it's Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a white woman. Why not? Game on. Let's see. For President Trump, oh, boy, you could do anything you want.
Now he's going to go on to the Trumps. Now he's going to go on to Trump. Again, there's something that I could look at immediately, and I know it's not quite as clear in this one because it's more like cinnamon, nutmeg flavored, colored face, but Donald Trump, again, a white guy with no trope associated whatsoever, besides the fact that his fucking asshole-shaped mouth probably looks like that monkey's mouth. Or we call him the fucking, the orange baboon or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, these are now the excuses that Greg Kelly's going to put up there to be like, oh, see, Donald Trump should be allowed to put fucking anybody's face on anything, considering what they say about him.
Want with him and not worry about repercussions, being canceled, right?
I love it. This is on Greg Kelly's show. Look at him with the flag. Oh, how patriotic he is. Look at how patriotic he is.
We're inviting Americans from all across the country to come. God bless the United States.
Oh, Greg, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, man. Not only did I get to relive that Marjorie Taylor Greene photo I haven't seen in a while, but I don't know if I've ever seen this one. Oh, please tell me there's more. I didn't watch this far. Please tell me there's more.
Especially if you wanted to portray him.
This is great.
Him as a monkey, an ape,
Give me another one.
A gorilla.
Oh my god. Oh fuck. Is that even supposed to be Trump? Like, what in the fuck did the producers in fucking Greg Kelly's show think about it? Like, why? Because he's wearing a red tie? I'm so confused. What about this says it's Donald Trump? They're just picking random fucking ape photos now. Oh, I'm serious. What is that? Like, is it just supposed to be his suit and his eyes, I guess? Oh, perfect. Mwah. Okay, Greg, another one?
Or an orangutan. Game on. Well, one of the reasons that this thing went viral today is because we're...
He's keeping it on the screen. They're doing a fucking... He's only got a third of the screen. 2/3 of the screen's taken up by fucking Trump pansy over here.
Republican Tim Scott did not like an image that was temporarily posted on President Trump's Twitter account. Yep, Tim Scott, good guy, but I don't know, maybe he should lighten up about these things too. Praying it was...
Holy shit, Greg. Holy shit, Greg. You did not, just as a white man, tell Tim Scott, who, again, I have absolutely no fucking sympathy for, who absolutely brought every single bit of this upon himself and this fucking country. But for Greg fucking Kelly to be like, you know what, Tim Scott, you should probably just, take this a little bit more fucking lightly. Don't have such thin skin about this racism coming from your fucking party leader and the president of the United States. One more time, Greg, give me that. I'm sure Tim's gonna love this. Actually, I just wanted to see that again.
Like an image that was temporarily posted on President Trump's Twitter account. Yep, Tim Scott, good guy, But I don't know, maybe he should lighten up about these things too. Praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've ever seen out of this White House. The president should remove it immediately. Again, I didn't think it was such a big deal, but
how do you be this fucking ignorant? How? You can't be. He is, though. Like, this is not somebody playing, like, there's a lot, okay, I'm sorry. There's a lot of fucking right-wing grifters, right? There's a lot of fucking right-wing commentators. There's a lot of fucking people out there that know better. That absolutely fucking know better, but it's the buku dollars and it's the billionaire fucking funding that just, it's too fucking beautiful. It's too much to pass up, right? And they'll go out there and they'll propagandize and they'll lie, but behind the scenes, they say the fucking real shit and what they're really thinking. There's those people out there. Greg Kelly ain't one. Greg Kelly is the dumbest son of a bitch, is the most gullible son of a bitch, and has the most boots goggling down his fucking throat right now, more than anybody in the world. So he's not one of these people that doesn't buy, like, this is clearly what he thinks. He thinks he should be able to tell Tim Scott, that he shouldn't be as thin-skinned about this fucking, what he's calling the most racist thing ever to come out of the White House. That's the state of the fucking Republican Party right now. That is the state of the Republican Party right now. I don't see what the big deal is, Tim. I didn't find it really offensive. Why Tim Scott found it offensive, I'll never know, is basically what Greg Kelly is saying right here. Holy shit. Holy shit.
Our culture is a little topsy-turvy. What are you going to do? I mean, it's very tough.
Well, yeah, what are you going to do, really? I mean, there's just nothing you can do about it. It's just, he is who he is. You voted for who you voted for, and you've backed it up to the ends of the earth. So you might as well just fucking roll with it now, right, Greg? Holy good God, these fucking people have no shame whatsoever. And speaking of no shame, here's another motherfucker with no shame, because he pulls, I think, a different type of, I think it's just like we should all be adults and realize that like a cartoon shouldn't be offensive type of view that he's got here. I'm not sure where he takes it. I only watched a little bit of this and I wanted to dive into, a little bit of it with you, but actually, no, I can't, because he always uses copyright and shit at the beginning of his videos. I'm just going to go to the beginning where he starts talking about it. All right, let's dive into Benny Johnson's ridiculous defense of what Donald Trump posted and the obvious racist, bigoted post meant to be offensive, obviously meant to be racist, and obviously meant to be bigoted against everybody named, everybody mentioned. So let's
to apologize for a meme. President Trump yesterday shared a small snippet of a meme. This is the meme playing on your screen. The full meme shows characters from The Lion King, including a considerable number of animals with faces swapped as Democrat politicians and influencers.
Why is he whispering? I don't get why he's whispering. Why do I feel like there's a black person around that he doesn't want to piss off by defending this post? I feel like he's at the doctor's office with people that may quite clearly get frustrated and upset with him if he's known and heard defending this post. Other than that, I don't know. Maybe his kids are sleeping and he doesn't want to hear them, want to hear them like him defending racism, apparently. I don't know.
Hillary Clinton is a warthog, Hakeem Jeffries is a meerkat, AOC is a donkey, and Adam Schiff is a troll.
Yes, and there's a clear reason as to why the two people were chosen to be the animals that they were chosen to be were the Obamas. Regardless of who else is pictured, regardless of who else is in this fucking ridiculously childish, definitely meant to be bigoted and hateful fucking video that you just happen to take a snippet, the president just happened to take a snippet, or the fucking staffer, whoever the fuck of these racist fucks, and just happened to take the snippet of just the Obamas. Why was it just the Obamas? And if it's just a joke, why was it taken down? Huh? Why? If it's just a big joke, why was it taken down, Benny?
Wrath, along with a laughing hyena for Zorhan Mandami. Joe Biden is also Rafiki eating a banana. Okay. Whatever the case may be, President Trump shared a very, very small snippet of this in an autoplay function after.
Initiated by. No. The snippet that he played was the snippet meant to be the most racist. So that's the snippet that they chose to play. That was the snippet interjected into this bullshit propaganda video about Dominion machines to begin with, right? So don't you played like a little snippet over an autoplay function. Like, fuck you and your function. Stick your function up your ass. We don't give a fuck about the function, nor do we give a fuck about who ultimately hit send. Because it was the president's fucking account. He's responsible for what's posted on that fucking account. He takes the blame for it, regardless. Not only that, but it matches quite clearly up with some of the racist bullshit and racist propaganda he's been saying about the Obamas for a long fucking time. There's no way he can get away from that either.
Integrity video. This is the slowed down version of that.
Yeah. And again, just to play the slowed down version of it, Benny, like you're not trying to get across your fucking agenda at this point too. Like it's nothing to see here, folks, but I'm going to slow it down as much as I possibly can so you guys can see exactly what we mean over here on the right. Wink, 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 right? These fucks.
Auto played as videos do on social media. So that is the full and total scandal. Part of the video showed the Obamas as gorillas. Okay. Are we all adults? Do we understand?
Yeah, we are all adults, which is why we know about that, again, historically fucking prominent racist trope that this is supposed to be fucking displaying right now. That because we're all adults, we know that and can call it out. And because we're all adults and have been alive for quite some time now, while Donald Trump has been a conster, a fraudster, a fucking, a sexual assaulter, right? Like, and all of those things, a liar and all of these things. That's how we know that his racist tropes and like the fucking Central Park thing, right? Not only that, but his first, what wasn't he first sued with his father because of not allowing black tenants to own any property inside of his buildings. And then they were labeling black people with a certain fucking label so that they knew who it was. Like, this isn't anything new. This ain't fucking new behavior. This isn't surprising. Like, people calling this out aren't surprised about it, or at least I'm not. I'll speak for myself. I'm not surprised about this fucking post. I'm not surprised that, Donald Trump or some fucking racist, bigoted prick that's meant to hit send on all of his posts actually posted this shit. I'm not. Who the fuck would be? If you're surprised, you haven't been paying attention for the last fucking 10 years, plus considering the Republican Party and their policies. So I'm not surprised at all, but it is something that needs to be called out. But Benny just, are we adults here? Can't we just be adults and be like, oh, this is funny and laugh, right? No?
And how the internet works? Obviously not. President Trump has finally responded on camera to this after a wild moment at the White House where reporters shrieked and screamed at him. Check this out.
Here, we did it in my first year, so it's great.
President, can you apologize for their racism?
Okay, so
I'm sorry. Was that supposed to prove some shrieking and shrilling? Because it didn't sound like any shrieking or shrilling, and it sounded like reporters trying to get their questions answered over the sound of the fucking helicopter 25 feet away from them. Just again, the most fucking dishonest reporting you could possibly think of. Like Tim Pool the other day. Remember Tim Pool he had a whole video, right? And it was just the most fucking garbled, mumbo-jumbled pieces of fucking random shit placed together to try to defend people in the Epstein files. And it was like, well, none of this makes sense, Tim. One doesn't have thing to do with the same thing Benny did with Zoran's mom. And the one fucking thing that she's mentioned in because she's a director and they went to a film screening or an opening or something like that, right? And the same thing that he did, he pulled up some random file that mentioned something about a son and then tried to implicate that with the one file that Zoran's mom was in and then tried to implicate that with the AI pictures. And it's like, what are we doing here? What do you like? Can you pull from fucking another universe to get these pictures, apparently? Because these have nothing to do with the reality that we're living in. I know that.
Everyone calm down, literally chill out. Could you imagine being screamed at like that every single day?
Yeah, chill out. I mean, I love a white guy telling African Americans to chill out about racism. I mean, just nothing clearly represents the Republican Party nowadays than the white people being like, hey, black people, chill out. Fucking you guys and your racism, man. You got to stop talking about the whole racism thing, man. As a white guy, I'm not seeing it. I'm really not.
Not saying anyone should feel pity for Donald Trump, but like, could you imagine that like your job is everywhere that you go, reporters are shrieking at you.
Yeah, he's the fucking president, you moron. What do you think the free press is? You think he's the first president in history that has fucking people questioning? Well, like, having to fucking yell out questions on the front lawn or while he's getting on the fucking, the helicopter. You think he's the first president this happens to? Holy shit. These fucking people, I don't understand. Like, did they wake up yesterday? Do they have no shame? Do they not know that this is for like, forever? Like these videos in the defense of these people?
Like that at the top of their lungs. Okay. Well, President Trump did go and take questions from the press on the plane. And by the way, this is incredibly refreshing. We never got this with Joe Biden. It's nice to just hear from Donald Trump. He knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, you just never heard Joe Biden just blatantly defending his blatant racism and those racist posts that he always put out on social media. Fucking just, you never got the accountability that you wanted to see from fucking Joe Biden, according to Benny Johnson here. All of those hugely racist posts against the Obamas that Biden had on social media. Unreal, these fucking people. All right, let's dive into some more people calling this stuff out and the reactions to it, because what time we got? We got 2:14, so we got about 45 minutes. Should give us enough time. I'll leave this one. We'll go right into the LBC clips, because I think this is probably a little bit more important than anything Bill Maher's got to fucking say, considering his nonsense and the fact that he's directly responsible for what we're seeing anyway. So this is, again, we love to talk about and look at how people all over the world are speaking about the issues that we're now facing in the United States, not only domestically, but also abroad, that we're involved in and litigating and heavily fucking involved in discussions and negotiations or whatever. But the way that these people are speaking out it, and Louis Goodall here is on with, I don't know who the lady's name is, but she's some representative of the Republican Party or a Republican commentator. It says here Republican commentator. So I'm not familiar with her, but she is questioned here pretty much, directly on not only the Epstein files, in the cover up that's come from it, but also Donald Trump's racist post about the Obamas. And I feel like, again, nobody in the media today is asking anybody the questions like this. Nobody's reacting to the questions like this. And not only is it this video, but there's another one here of Simon Marks commenting on the Obama post as well. And again, a lot more clearly spoken, a lot more direct, right? And a lot more like it's just blatant and obvious, as opposed to what we're hearing on the media, from the media today in the United States, and the lack of accountability being called for, frankly. Right. So, again, let's start off with the Louis Goodall one. We'll dive into the Simon Marks one right after this. Only a couple minutes. We don't have to watch the whole thing as usual to get the, to get the feel of what's going on. Let's dive into it, though. Hit that like button. Appreciate you guys. Again, play would be great. Why is it not playing?
She joins us now in the studio.
Oh, here it goes. I think I've been having the internet's kind of acting weird this morning. My apologies. I'll start from the beginning. Here we go.
Nora Lee Knotson is a Republican commentator and founder of Knotson Advisors. She joins us now in the studio. Nora, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Could you just explain? I mean, there are people, and I've spoken to quite a few this week, who've asked.
Lee Knotson, again, not familiar with who she is. Republican commentator. I don't know if that's in the UK or in the United States or for LBC. I'm not sure. So, but she is now going to try to the best of her ability, defend this administration for their actions. Again, with the Epstein files and with the Obama release here. Check this out.
I mean, exactly this question. These Epstein files are shaking our politics, and they're a big story in America, but it doesn't seem that there are so many people paying a political price.
Well, if we think about the way Trump ran his campaign in 2024, and when he was asked about the Epstein files, he said he was pro releasing the files. And we know Trump is not somebody that's a pure man. He's never run on that sort of platform. And Trump himself is anti-establishment, anti-the elite. So
bullshit, anti-elite? Holy fucking shit. Anti-elite? I'm sorry. Who's doing and profiting the most since Donald Trump took over in his second term? Who are the people that are now fucking, again, getting these government contracts? Who are the people now getting these, what about the Adelsons, right? Let's talk about what happened with Israel in his first term and the money that he took in. And, the contracts that Elon Musk is getting, the contracts that Don Jr. is getting. He's fucking, oh my God. How in the world that you don't just like spontaneously combust on the spot while spewing that much fucking bullshit? Like a lightning bolt doesn't come down and strike your earpiece right inside your ear at that moment in time. I don't know. Should happen.
This whole exposure of the Epstein files and the lengths that it goes to for the people involved in high power, whether it's in banking, private equity, entertainment,
the White House
world, or within politics,
the White House
itself, people that were high up in Clinton's administration,
the White House, the president right now
being involved. This plays into Trump's whole narrative of anti the establishment and trying to get to the rot of it all.
But Trump's in the files repeatedly.
Yeah, but let's be clear. There are separate issues here. There are people who had a relationship with Epstein, nothing that was criminal. And then there were.
Wait a minute. Where do you have the substantiated proof that Donald Trump never engaged in anything criminal? Where do you have where the allegations, the thousands of allegations of criminal fucking misconduct, of sexual assault, of things even more fucking egregious? Where do you have, again, the substantiated investigatory fucking filings and reports to say that none of those were true? How are you going to sit here and say that he was only named 38,000 plus times because he was friendly and that closely associated with Jeffrey Epstein, but has absolutely no involvement in the criminality side? Again, this is how fucking dumb you need to sound. This is how stupid you need to fucking look on TV, on camera, on fucking radio in order to defend any of this shit. Look at her face right now. She knows she's fucking looking stupid.
People who were involved in passing sensitive information so he could trade off of it. And there were people involved in sexual misconduct.
But Trump's relationship with Epstein does rather imply that he's part of that establishment that he decries.
Actually, if you look at Trump's...
Again, not to mention the overwhelming amount of allegations, specific allegations made by victims, made by witnesses, made through the tip lines that directly involve Donald Trump. Not to mention the thousands of emails that directly name Donald Trump and associate him with the fucking parties and being around all these people. I mean, what are we talking about? The flight logs, the words coming out of Donald Trump's mouth even before and having nothing to do with the Epstein files that could lead us down the path of being like, oh yeah, that son of a bitch, he'd be fucking ready to do that. None of that surprises me, considering what he's already said in public in front of cameras. Fuck me.
Relationship, it ended in about 2004, and Epstein.
But he's part of that world.
He is not part of the sexual misconduct. So
bullshit. Give me something that says that. Where again, show me all of the fucking investigatory work and all of the fucking ends of them and all the reports from every single fucking person that tracked down those leads and went through every person and witness and says, okay, we ultimately determined this, because I guarantee you're not going to fucking find it.
There are a lot of people who are part of
the elite world of wealth and power.
No, but it's the rot that's within a lot of these institutions. And Trump's platform was trying to restore the public trust in institutions.
Although Trump is saying
how's that going? How is that fucking going for you, Nora? How is the trust in our institutions going nowadays? Have you seen any of the polling on any of that? Huh? How's the East Wind looking? How's that doing? That going well for you? How's the anti-war party looking for you? That going well? Yeah, a lot of those things happening. How's the end of the Russian invasion of Ukraine looking for you? How'd that go? Nothing?
Wants to move on. He thinks everybody should move on from the Epstein files.
I don't think everybody's going to move on, because I think...
That's not what he said. What he said was Donald Trump said everybody said they should move on from the Epstein files. See how she's not answering the exact question? Watch. Listen to what the question is.
He wants to move on. He thinks everybody should move on from the Epstein file.
Donald Trump said everybody should move on. He thinks everybody should move on. Right? Now listen to the way that she doesn't talk about what Donald Trump said.
I don't think everybody's going to move on, because I think what's really crucial...
We don't give a fuck what you think people are going to do. We're asking you why, in your opinion, on what he said in that moment. Do you think it's right? And do you think this is the sound of a person that wants to get to the bottom of this shit, saying that everybody should move on, who previously said it was a Democrat hoax, who's now pointing to bullshit fucking files in this to say that he was like, fucking taken out of this, like to show he has no guilt whatsoever, which is just insanity.
Here is the public trust, and it's what are our principles and values, and when will there be justice?
You have none. That's the simple answer to that question. And again, just for the sake of time, because I know we're running out, she goes on to talk about the post from Donald Trump, or she's questioned about the post from Donald Trump as well. Let me see if I can throw that on the screen here. I think it's somewhere in the middle here.
Donald Trump get away with whatever he wants.
That's not true. If you've heard Marjorie Taylor Greene,
hold on.
Scandal is very different.
No, Keir Starmer, nor was Peter Mandelson, as far as we know.
Peter Mandelson was involved in defying the Secrecy Act in giving insider information. I used to work on the trading floor. I'd go straight to jail if I traded on inside information. That's a crime.
Well, we should be careful, because at the moment...
No, I know. He's not accused of anything, but if that happened... That raises huge.
That's a crime. Well, we got to be careful. Well, I know he's not accused of anything at this point, but it's like, okay. But let me go on here, because I'm pretty sure he questions her about the Obama.
We can't seriously be saying that Keir Starmer is in the worst position than Donald Trump over this short.
That's not what I'm saying. I think that's what you're saying. What I'm saying is different from the way
he has decided to basically let Donald Trump get away with whatever he wants.
That's not true. If you've heard Marjorie Taylor Greene,
she's resigned.
Yeah, she's been pushing. There have been a lot of Republicans pushing for the transparency.
And he threatened her with a primary in response to it.
Yeah, but Trump actually signed the Transparency Act, and all the files are
in which they violated, in which they themselves violated. They still, to this point, have not released all of the Epstein files, which they were supposed to be released by December 19th. And they also violated the act by not releasing and coming to Congress and giving them information as to what they redacted and why they redacted it and how it lined up with what they were allowed to redact in the fucking law signed by Donald Trump. So you make yourself look like a moron just by bringing that up, because they didn't follow the letter of the law, and they still haven't followed the letter of the law, and they still also went to longer fucking lengths to redact the names of the monsters and the criminals in these files, and they did the actual victims
out there, and there's going to be.
Didn't want to. He was forced to.
Yeah, but it's out there. It's out there, and I think what matters more is our leaders and the principles and having justice for the victims, and then asking the question: actually, who is Epstein working for?
Do you think that
nobody's asking that question? And how many more Epsteins are there?
Probably Trump.
I think. Look, it's terrible as well.
Yeah, this is where she's questioned.
Would you condemn that video as racist?
I know that Joe Biden was in there as an ape as well.
Again, she won't even condemn it as racist.
Set to The Lion Sleeps Tonight, with the Obamas depicted as dancing apes. Would you condemn that video as racist?
I know that Joe Biden was in there as an ape as well, and I think.
Yes, but he's white.
I think. Look, it's terrible. It's not. We shouldn't be posting things like that. But as he's.
Why not? Why not? What is the reason you shouldn't be posting shit like that? If it's not racist, what's the reason? If you don't believe that it was racist and you think it totally fucking exonerates Trump because fucking Joe Biden was also in this, why did he take it down? And why do you have a problem here dancing around that? Again, well, I don't. It was well, we shouldn't be. It's not something I would really think. No, we shouldn't have. Maybe kind of no. It's like, Jesus Christ, lady, fucking get a grip. You know it was racist. Call it out as being fucking racist and stop looking like an asshole on national television.
Said it wasn't him. He's got a big group that's posting, and we know.
Yeah, I mean, who knows who's posting shit on the fucking president's social media sites nowadays anyway? It could be anybody. Anybody's got access to that shit. Could have been any moron that he decided to hire. Could have been any racist, bigoted prick floating around the White House. Maybe Stephen Miller hopped on Donald Trump's fucking True Social at midnight that night. Maybe it was something like that, right? I mean, who knows? Who can hold the president accountable for what goes on his social media fucking platform, right?
He's got a quirky sense of humor.
Is that what it is? It was quirk. It was just quirky racism, according to Nora.
Very invoking Jim Crow stereotypes used to justify slavery.
Very quirky. That
decades and decades.
I don't think it was intended, and I think it's unfortunate that it came out. So I would agree with you. It's unfortunate that came out.
Well, I wasn't asking whether it was unfortunate.
It didn't come out. It didn't all of a sudden just fall out of somebody's asshole. It was fucking posted onto the president's fucking account. You dumb broad. What are we talking about here? It didn't fucking just come out of somebody didn't choke on it and spit it back up and all of a sudden, oh, there it is. People, hey, who could have fucking seen that? It was posted directly to the president's fucking platform. Jesus Christ.
Asking whether you thought it was racist.
I don't think the implication was meant to be racist. If I'm honest.
Do you think it was racist? Stop dancing around the question.
Honest, it was meant to just make a joke, but I would never post a video like that, and I think most people wouldn't be posting videos like that. So it's
why? It doesn't make any sense. Why would people not be posting videos like that? Why would you not post videos like that? But why you're also calling it a joke? If it's just a joke, you don't post jokes? You don't jokes? Apparently there's something else that you don't like about it, that you recognize about that, because you're saying you wouldn't have posted. Now, what would that be, Nora? What would that be?
Fortunate that his team posted that video.
But you were aware of the provenance of that trope about black people being apes?
I'm aware that in the past, yes, there were some issues around that.
Well, you could say that again. It was
some issues. I'm aware that in the past, there were some issues around that. What a fucking way to walk around that shit, huh? There was some issues around racism, but not currently, right, Nora? Not currently, considering it was just posted to the president's platform. Wow.
Slave traders and segregationists to dehumanize black people and justify lynchings. So do you think it's all right for the president of the United States, who is also president of nearly 50 million black Americans, to be putting out material like that?
I don't think it should be. It should have been put out, and I don't think the intent was that.
Why hasn't he apologized for it, do you think?
That I can't answer for Donald Trump.
Oh my God. You see these fucking people? You see what they have to do to themselves? How they must have the best chiropractors ever, because they must be fucking impossible to be untangled, right? They must be fucking untwisted like knots after these interviews. And again, it goes on. And just the way that people are speaking about this is a more level-headed person. This doesn't include any Republicans here. This is Simon Marks, who is usually on, and I believe he is on with James O'Brien, but this is just his kind of vantage point, his kind of take on the whole situation. And again, just think of how clearly he's speaking here and how obvious it is and how you can be like, yep, that sounds about right. Check this out.
Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, the only African-American Republican senator, who said this is the most racist thing I've seen coming out of the White House, which I thought was interesting phrasing. Yeah. He didn't say, this is the only racist thing I've seen coming out of the White House. Yeah. The most, right? Look, I mean, this is astonishing. I mean, I think it's important to look at this in a couple of different ways. This was a video that ran 1 minute and 1 second. And
listen to the history behind this, because I had forgotten about this. I think I to some extent recognized the video, but I didn't kind of remember from where. But Simon goes into how this was already posted by a GOP platform before. I think he goes on to say Kentucky or something like that. And it was posted to Twitter, and it had to be fucking removed the last time it was posted. And the GOP down in Kentucky were forced to apologize for it because it caused fucking a stir before. So then it was reused. So this wasn't even the first time. This wasn't like, oh, we didn't know people didn't like this. We didn't know fucking this was a problem. No. You don't even have that excuse anymore. And he goes on to talk about it here.
Last 2 seconds, those very brief images, shameful, racist, disgraceful images of the Obamas as primates. Images drawn, by the way, from a video that first surfaced last October. And when the White House yesterday morning...
Last October, again, they already went through this. They already know that this was problematic. And now for fucking Caroline Levitt to be like, oh, it's just a joke, part of the fucking Lion King movie. Bull fucking shit. History ain't on your side. You already had to apologize once for it.
Morning was just dismissing all of this as fake outrage. They ought to have known that last October, a Republican Party in Kentucky, a local Republican Party, put that video out, long version of it, on their Facebook page, and it caused uproar, and they had to pull it down, and the head of that local Republican Party in Kentucky had to apologize.
So again, he had to make a public apology, so it's not like they can't be like, oh, we didn't fucking know. There might have been uproar, but nobody told us about it. No. There was already a public apology. It had to be taken down from the fucking GOP site, Facebook site already because of the fucking racist depiction, right? But no, it's been used again. Now it's being recirculated, and now they're trying to reuse their first excuses like we didn't already go through this before.
So this video has form, and the fact that we went through not just 12 hours before he took it down, but then an entire news cycle and heard 3 separate versions of what had happened before President Trump himself conceded that he'd watched the video, hadn't noticed the bit at the end, and stopped sort of blaming a lowly staffer for uploading it, but of course stopped short of apologizing for it is extraordinary. But the second point that shouldn't be overlooked are the first 59 seconds of the video. Because
this is a great point too, because I think this is being lost in translation. This is being lost in the sauce as well. Like, even if we don't, I mean, again, let's take the fucking portion with the Obamas as blatantly racist, blatantly bigoted. Like, the rest of the video is batshit crazy too. The rest of the video is trying to again litigate the fucking 2020 elections with these stupid fucking Dominion voting bullshit things. Like, again, does Dominion have another lawsuit on their hands here? Is Dominion going to be able to sue for another fucking $1 billion? Right? Or what are we doing here? Again, the whole video was fucked up. The whole video was nonsense. The whole video is just him trying to, again, throw in these propaganda pieces about the 2020 election. And then on top of it came this racist, bigoted fucking portion at the end of it. So a lot of people not even talking about the video, and rightly so, calling out obviously that clip at the end, but let's continuously talk about what this is a bigger part of, right? This is a fucking part of the bigger plan of getting people to, again, talk about the 2020 election so that when these, fucking investigations and actions that are about to come, undoubtedly, like the Fulton County fucking raid and more like it. So when they come, everybody's already talking about the 2020 election. These fucking 2,000 mule bullshit things are going around again. That's what this is part of. So, don't lose the forest through the fucking trees here, right?
They're all about Trump's obsession with trying to prove that the 2020 election was rigged, that he won it, not Joe Biden. It was some ludicrous academic effort to kind of persuade people that Joe Biden actually lost in 2020.
And again, is anybody in the media here talking about it as like a ludicrous effort? Is anybody else calling out the rest of the video as being fucking ridiculous, as being just some of the most insane bullshit that we could talk about 6 years on? So again, it just seems more clear to me. It just seems like they're like more on top of what's going on in this country than the media in this country is on top of what's happening in this country. It's kind of crazy. It really is kind of crazy. You know what I mean? It's weird to hear that people speaking more plainly about what's happening in our country than the people in our country supposed to be talking about it are speaking about this.
So everything about this was shameful. I mean, the fact that in 2026 he's still trying to litigate the 2020 election is an incredible window into what he's up to and his nefarious plans to rig the midterm elections later this year, or at least reject the outcome of them.
Do you hear what he said? His obvious plans to rig the midterm elections. Listen,
incredible.
Again, anybody else speaking that clearly? Anybody else like speaking about what they've seen and what the clear and obvious plan is? Listen to this.
Window into what he's up to and his nefarious plans to rig the midterm elections later this year, or at least reject the outcome of them if Republicans lose. And then that last 2 seconds, just revelatory of the fact that the Republican Party, on numerous occasions, this is not a one-off, his government on numerous occasions is embracing racist imagery, totalitarian tropes, and a general authoritarian approach that is all designed to undermine American democracy, and in the case of that video, to engage in an act of racism towards a former first couple. The charitable way of looking at this is nobody glimpsed the last 2 seconds of that video. They saw the first part of it.
And again, it's unbelievable to hear how like concise and clear, like just even the ending, right?
And a general authoritarian approach that is all designed to undermine American democracy, and
that is all designed to undermine American democracy. Right. So what do we always say? That fucking fascism and authoritarianism thrives best in chaos. Right. They need to fucking create chaos. They need to undermine the institutions. They need to undermine the professors, the educated base in this country. They need to take away the free press. They need to make sure that they can control the media, control the narrative. Make sure that they can, instill fear, intimidate the citizenry as to not fighting back. Like all of these are little fucking, little ways in which that they're trying to instill, the tactics and the policies of the fucking definite fascists that came before, and use those as into 2026 to the best of their ability. And to hear again, our fucking own media struggle mightily with calling out this regime, calling out the fucking injustice, calling out the lack of accountability, while you got to go across the fucking pond to hear people speak clearly about it, is incredibly fucking frustrating. But that's why we continue to look at these other channels. That's why we continue to watch, stuff outside of the United States to make sure that we're, getting all of it. We're getting that fucking the broad view on what's happening in the world and what the world is talking about, and not just stuck in our own fucking bubble. But talking about being stuck in a bubble, the Russians are now stuck in a bubble of death. Okay, and have been for quite some time, if I want to make it, quite clear. So first and foremost, Slava Ukraini, Heroya Slava, to all the fighters and everybody still giving it their all over there. But this is a Preston Stewart video, and this is, again, some pretty good news. It's grim news. It's horrible to have to talk about in terms of war and death. But again, on the side of the Ukrainian people, on the side of the Ukrainians and them trying to defend their homeland against this unjust and illegal invasion that is, again, perpetrated more war crimes than we've seen probably since World War II, or at least Kosovo in that area. It's good to see that the Ukrainians are now, touting their own horn, right? They're now kind of patting themselves on the back and kind of bragging to some extent about how well they've done. And again, a certain period of time in a war where typically it's a little bit more I don't know, not subdued, but there's less action taken typically when it's, minus degrees out and it's fucking wet and it's cold and it's this and it's that. Like, it's just typically not the action time, more of a summer, spring. You'll hear the offensives take place as you typically do. So again, here is just a little bit of Preston Stewart, and this is titled Russia's Army Just Got Smaller. So this is, again, the Ukrainians putting out the news release of how well they've done and what they've been able to do over the last couple months. So what do you say we dive into this again? Hit that like button, please. If not for me, for the Ukrainian people, the Ukrainian military, and supporting democracy all over the globe. After this, we'll go in and look at, because I believe we're damn near close to 50% of the way towards our goal as far as getting a truck to the 72nd Separate Mechanized Brigade. Damn near close to 10,000 euro raised, and it's only because of your fantastic interactions, and because of your generosity that we've been able to get there, and you guys sharing it out and making sure other people are aware of it. It's been incredible. So we'll dive into a little bit of that after this and just check on where we are. Again, here's Preston Stewart talking about how the Russians have been paying the ultimate price even through the winter months. Here we go.
January, they killed more Russian soldiers than Russia was able to recruit, which is only the second time this has happened since the full-scale invasion began in 2022. And
again, think of how big that is. Think of how big that is. And sorry to stop it so quickly, but to be able to, again, eliminate more Russians from the battlefield than the Russians could actually recruit and replace on the battlefield, that's how you win wars, right? That is how you, deplete and don't allow the replenishment of forces on the front lines. That is how you, kill morale on the people that are left on the front lines that don't have the proper equipment, don't have the proper fucking food, right? The lack of resources, don't have the unit that they were established with to begin with. They're left with 1 and 2 people, right? And not being able to recruit as many people as they're losing, they're not getting the replacements. They're not getting the assistance that they're supposed to have in a timely manner. And that can go a long way as to, demoralizing the entire front line and being like, well, we're just not going to get the help. We're just fucked. We might as well surrender and at least try to salvage whatever life I have left, right? So again, I'll let it go on. But that's a huge, and I think he said it was only the second time in the war that this has happened, where the Ukrainians have managed to eliminate more Russians than the Russians were able to recruit. So again, a huge fucking moment in a 4-year war where it's only happened twice.
Notably, happened during a month with fewer and smaller Russian assaults. I mean, we might see some absolutely shocking numbers in the next few months as the weather clears and operational tempo picks back up.
And again, that's the point that I was making, right? So basically, there's going to be a period in time where the ground is going to thaw, right? And you might have like almost like a Rasputitsa time where the mud is going to be, it's going to inhibit travel. It's going to inhibit the people getting around the battlefield, right? But then there's going to come a time where that dries out. Spring going into summer, and that's when the offensive pick up. That's when the actions kick up. That's when both sides take advantage of the weather, take advantage of the long sunlight, right, of the longer days and shit like that. So there's going to be more drone activity, there's going to be more Russian activity, there's going to be more Ukrainian activity, thus leading to more people taken off the battlefield, more casualties, more death, right? But so as we continue to talk about this during the winter months, when typically the number of actions are down, the number of Russians entering actions are down, the number of Ukrainians probably on the other side also down, trying to get people the time to rehabilitate, trying to recoup, get people sent back if they possibly can to get them some R&R, whatever it may be. This is kind of the time to do it. And now we're seeing these substantial and exponential numbers still. Just goes to show what we might see when the weather breaks and when, again, the actions pick back up for the Russian military. It's going to be pretty brutal.
Now, the Ukrainian Unmanned Systems Forces put out a note saying the balance of occupiers for January is negative. They say in January 2026, 22,000 Russians were mobilized or contracted into the military, whereas 30,618 were verified as being killed on camera by UAV units.
So that's 8,000. So we're not talking about like 1 to 200, right? A discrepancy of 1 to 200. Like that's another 8,000 fucking troops that were removed from the battlefield that won't be able to be replaced in a timely manner, right?
Of the Ukrainian Defense Forces. Important note there. So Ukraine has this point system where they award points to different units based off their effectiveness at eliminating Russian soldiers, Russian military equipment, so on and so forth. A big part of that, I think probably the most important part of that, is accurately tracking battle damage assessments or the results of the strike. So to accumulate any points and verify the results, Ukraine has to submit video evidence from another drone that strike drone actually achieved the desired results. So when you see the number of tanks that were destroyed versus damaged, enemy personnel killed versus wounded, all of that supposedly is captured on camera before it can be recorded. Now,
and again, a lot of people talking about, and we've played videos on this channel before where you can see the FPV drone go in, and just before it makes contact, you lose connection with the FPV drone. We consider it a kill. But again, the Ukrainian military, what he's saying here and what we've known for a while now is you need kind of confirmation from not only that FPV, but from a secondary drone looking at what that FPV struck in order to have that confirmation. And again, engage in the point system that he's talking about here, given to different units for different engagements and different, tanks taken out, artillery taken out, whatever it may be, drones taken out, personnel taken out, obviously, planes, helicopters, you name it. And I'm sure that they are awarding different points to different units for different things. It's almost like, as callous as it sounds, it's like, what's the most prominent fucking example? Like the Ohio State Buckeye. You ever see the Ohio State Buckeyes football team where they always have the Buckeye stickers on the back? So given to a quarterback when he makes, a game-winning throw or, makes an incredible play or a defensive back for an interception or whatever it may be, right? Use whatever example you want to use. But that's kind of, it gives you incentive to do well. It gives you incentive to keep performing, to see yourself move up on the list, to see the helmet fill up with Buckeyes. And I know, different teams do it different ways, but that's just kind of the most prominent fucking thing I could think of at that moment. So similar to that, to keep people, willing to fight and wanting to fight and wanting to kind of climb up on that list. And again, I know it sounds callous, but war is typically a dark endeavor to begin with.
Not all of that video is made public. It just isn't. I mean, we have a tiny fraction of what is actually happening day in and day out. It's not even close. Like single digit percentages, low, like 1-2% maybe is the amount of drone footage that we have available in a public setting. So when you look at publicly available,
which is absolutely staggering, right? Considering the amount of footage that we do have to sift through. I mean, I've been waking up and looking at this again, going on, over 4 years now of going on Telegram, going on Reddit, going on these different platforms where this stuff is uploaded, whether it's from Russian FPVs, whether it's from Ukrainian FPVs, from the beginning. I mean, from the onset of FPV drones here and talking about dropping the grenades through the sunroofs of the Ladas to what we're seeing now in the prevalence of drones on the battlefield. To think that we are only privy to like say 1 or 2% of the total engagements, the total video taken by these drones, goes to show you just how much drone activity and just how much drone warfare has kind of taken hold and taken over in this fucking battle, in this in these engagements. So, I mean, that's staggering to think right there.
Reports, those numbers are, of course, going to be lower. Now, to give you an idea of the discrepancy here, Andrew Perpetua does an incredible job tracking this stuff day in and day out, looking through countless videos. And he confirmed in January 5,957 Russians verified killed in drone footage. So there's about a 6x, 5x discrepancy there between the two. But again, something I think we lose sight of in all of this. I can't verify the 30,000 number. The way Ukraine is putting it out here is saying we can verify it. Something we lose sight of with the volume of footage coming out day in and day out is that we are just seeing a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of what is actually happening on the battlefield. For a little bit of context,
Colleen says dressing them as penguins is not working. Clearly referencing that viral video of the Russian wearing what looked to be a penguin outfit, not making it back to his flock, let's just say. Colleen, thank you. Shout out to you for the contribution. Good reference. Good reference.
Text here. There were 140,000 combat missions flown by a single Ukrainian drone unit in January. Like, you couldn't look through all that footage if you wanted to. I mean, it could be playing on your computer nonstop all day and you'd run out of time. You have to run it on like 4x and probably still.
And again, just think of how widespread this is, right? Just think of like what we're talking about in terms of just the footage coming out of Pokrovsk, or, you know, just the footage that you could sift through in, you know, any number of the battles that we've seen, Mariupol, Bucha. I mean, just to sift through all of that, it would be kind of a task in and of itself. So to try to go through the entire front line, you know, and you know, all of the drones and all of the drone footage and the drones that are watching drones. I mean, we're talking about a huge fucking battlefield here, a huge substantial battlefield. And again, you know, just goes to show the little bits and pieces that we do get to pick up and do get to cover don't in any way determine or show what's happening on the, you know, the wider extent of the battlefield. It's just, again, in even how we point to how you see all the red on the map here. Like, that's just that's a kind of misrepresentation as well, because, you know, we've pointed out many a times where strikes and units have been attacked behind the front lines, what looks to be in a heavily and totally controlled area by the Russians, you know, per the red coloring, but they don't have the force, the substantial force in the area to, again, hold all of these different villages and towns like the map would suggest. So again, you know, we have to make sure that we're fighting through the bullshit and kind of the misnomers and the, I don't know, the sleight of hands, you know, that kind of happen when we can only have the certain amount of drone footage that we have. And obviously taking a look at maps kind of, you know, has its own kind of inhibitions, kind of has its own drawbacks and setbacks as well. So, you know, just things that we have to continuously keep in mind.
Get to it. So Magyar Birds, one of the units, one of the top units in the Ukrainian unmanned systems forces, said they ran an average of 4,500 missions per day.
4,500 missions per day from one unit. And of course, we've heard Magyar's Birds for quite some time now. They've really been on the forefront of the drone technology and the drone developments, and, you know, the way that the drones are used on the battlefield. So, I mean, 4,500 a day. Just think of the hours of footage that you'd have to sift through just to go through one day of missions by that one unit. So again, add that all up, and that's kind of all of the footage that we're not privy to. And again, to say that we can't substantiate the numbers doesn't mean that the Ukrainian military doesn't have the evidence. It's just A, impossible for them to release every fucking bit of it, and B, probably not strategically smart for them to release what they're not releasing for military purposes, you know, to not give away tactics, to not to give away, you know, areas that they're working in. There's obviously different reasons as to hold back different footage.
That averaged 3 missions per minute during the month of January. Non-stop. Now, some of those are reconnaissance drones. You know, they go up, they look around for some stuff, and they come back. Some are bombers that do the same. They go out, carry out their missions, and come back. Plenty of those are one way. They're either interceptors bringing down Russian drones or flying into Russian targets. That includes the short-range FPVs all the way up to the long-range deep strike munitions. But I just don't think very many people understand the quantity of drones overhead in Ukraine minute by minute right now.
And again, I just wanted to kind of press upon you the different fucking problems that the Russians are facing, right? And you know how, you know, they might be good at the propaganda of coming out and trying to say, oh, we took this position, that position, even though they have to do it 6, 7, 15 different times. You know, they are still facing substantial problems, even above and beyond the Starlink issue that we were talking about on the last show. I mean, this is numbers not even taken into account the problems that the Russian military could be facing from here on out as far as communications issues, you know, tactics and ways that they need to change communications. You know what I mean? So that's just another area. What do you say we'll end on this one? I should have played this earlier. I forgot to play this before we dove into the Ukraine stuff, but this is just a quick clip from John Ossoff, basically kind of speaking the way that I believe all politicians at this moment in time should be speaking. And I know it's probably, we're going to be calling for people on the left to be speaking like this, but I think we've gone beyond the right and the left. I think we're past, political differences and political parties at this point, as far as the problems that we're facing. But again, I'm not naive enough to believe that any Republicans are going to go on record and speak up against the injustices that we now see. But here's John Ossoff talking, and he says, you see what I'm seeing, right? The president's posting about the Obamas like a Klansman. And again, I just wish more people would talk this blatantly, honestly, and clearly. So we'll end on this, and I'll get into thanking some people for their kind and generous financial contributions to the show, as we always do at the end of all the podcasts. So here's John Ossoff just to end us here.
You're seeing what I'm seeing, right? The president posting about the Obamas like a Klansman at 1 a.m. You see our government transformed into a tool of one man's personal vengeance and power and enrichment. You see the president and his family rake in billions while Americans struggle to make ends meet. You see prices going up while jobs are getting harder to find. You see millions lose insurance and local hospitals shut services while the rich get tax cuts. You see masked federal agents kicking down doors without so much as a warrant from a judge, dragging Americans out of their homes without cause, demanding papers at police checkpoints, assaulting and even killing Americans with impunity from the very top.
So again, John Ossoff there kind of speaking truth to power. Very much appreciate anybody at this moment in time that's willing to get in front of a microphone and say it and tell it like it is. So very much appreciated. So let's get into thanking some people. Thank you so much. I'll let you guys get out of here. Those that are going to indulge and engage in the Super Bowl festivities so you guys can start having the time of your lives today. Anybody that's not involved, engaged, or care about it, totally 100% your opinion, your option to do. And I hope that you find something else to engage in today. You know, again, whether it's family and friends, a book, a movie, whatever it may be. So, you know, everybody get out there. Make sure you're taking the time for your own mental health. Make sure you're taking the time away from all of the nonsense. Again, don't disregard, don't forget, don't fucking, don't ignore anything, obviously, but everybody needs to have that time for themselves. So whatever it may be, whatever floats your boat, whatever tickles your fancy, I hope you get an opportunity to do that today. So let's get into thanking some people as we always do. Let's start off with the old Venmos. Appreciate you guys. Anybody that sends over a Venmo, you can do so right in this little doohickey here. We'll do it for you. Well, it won't do it for you. You'll have to do it yourself, but that'll take you to the appropriate spot. And again, all I ask for is a buck or two. I don't drink coffee, but I love Gatorade and Powerade. So, if you want to buy me a Powerade, it goes a long way in supporting the channel. Again, we don't sell you anything. I have absolutely no financial backers in the show. There are no ads that I put in front of you. I have nothing hidden behind a paywall. I don't charge for my Substack. There's no content on any of the social media platforms that I am on that you have to pay for in order to watch. Only thing that we have is the Zoom chats twice a month, basically, and that is us just shooting the shit, getting to put a face behind a screen name that you guys see in the chat every single day. So again, we talk about whatever it is. So it doesn't even necessarily have to be about politics. It could be about the weather. It could be about your pets. It could be about anything. So again, it's just kind of a little sit down. We shoot the shit for a little bit. That's kind of the only thing that the only access that the financial contributions towards Patreon get you at this point. And again, at least I'm open and honest about it. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to Raja very much. Thank you, Karen and Raja. Very much appreciate you guys for the 5 that you sent in. Shout out to you both. Thank you so much. Thank you, Karen, above and beyond the Karen and Raja. Thank you for your voice. Karen says, can't thank you enough for your contributions. Very, very kind of you to say those things. And again, without your support, without you guys' help, and without you guys coming back time and time again, I would be absolutely nothing. So thank you to Damon. Thank you to Christopher as well for your contributions over the last few days. Thank you, Nicole, as well. Can't thank you guys enough. Peter, Linda, Thomas, Jenny Faye, Roxanne, Claudia. I'm going back over the last couple days, but I want to make sure you guys get your shout out and your appreciation. Laurie, JD, V Sawyer. Let's go back a few more days too, because I just want to make sure. Jeffrey, thank you so much. Jesus, thank you so much. James, Nancy again, Kimberly. All of you guys are a part of this community, for better or worse, till death do us part. And I can't thank you enough. So let's get into thanking some of the people here on YouTube today. Wow, holy shit, you guys were awesome today. Thank you so much, guys. First on the list today, Bobby Slacks, started off on the right direction, started off on the right foot. Thank you so much, brother. Arroyo Slava to you. Right back to you with all the love, and same to you from all the Bryantologists. Thank you so much for your kind contributions and always being here. Rock it out, brother. Much appreciated. Right behind him was JD. Shout out to JD as always for the 5 gifted memberships. We're on our way to 1,000 memberships. We always get really close, and then we always seem to hit a speed bump somewhere in there. But again, we're pushing forward. We're going to continuously keep in this fight. We're going to grow this channel. We're going to continue to speak out. And those of you that find yourselves or want to find yourselves on the right side of history and a part of a resistance movement that you can relate to, then welcome to Blunt Politics, and you're more than welcome to join the crew, join the family, and I can't thank you enough for your participation. So thank you, JD. That goes for Carol as well. Voting JD Christie's photo moniker, best in chat, Young Frankenstein, Roxy. We got chat love here. We just got some chat on chat love. That's what we got. So appreciate you, Carol. Thank you so much for your recognition of JD's fine and fabulous photo moniker. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris, for being here for 7 months. Let's fucking go. Regime change, 11/3/26. Absolutely, brother. Let's go. Let's be a thorn in the side of these motherfuckers until that date, too, and then even past that date. So, Chris, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for your appreciation. Thank you for your, thank you for your involvement as well. Can't thank you enough. Shout out to you. Next on the list is Jordan T. What up, Jordan T? The moron, Ryan, said something intelligent for a change. These guys have been in an echo chambers for years. Algorithms serving up the same content. Yeah. So to go back to, in case anybody missed it, we were talking about Sean Ryan, again, ex-CIA, ex-Navy SEAL, has a very popular podcast that he does always, whether it's, in engaging in, military conversations, having politicians on. Definitely one of the more popular podcasts out there, but definitely one of the more pro-MAGA, but also somewhat detached from politics type of guy, like, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of these people are and not to give them any excuses or anything, but they're really ignorant to the problems, really ignorant to what's going on inside of politics, but, take this like alpha macho fucking bullshit that they have around them and use that and be like, well, I got to pick this party then. And then now they're all surprised when the party that they picked, the party of pedophile protectors, conmen, and fraudsters, are now lying to them about protecting pedophiles. So, Jordan T, you're 100% right. Spot on, brother. Thank you for the Aussie 5. Can't thank you enough. I believe that's an Aussie 5. I'm pretty sure. I think we established that last time. I think I'm having a mind blank here. But thank you, Jordan. Appreciate your favorite name, favorite basketball player ever as well. So can't thank you enough. Thank you, Just Saying, for the one gifted. Always a pleasure to have you here. Always nice to see you, and always fucking kind to have you contributing to the show. So very much appreciated. Very welcomed member of the chat. And thank you very much. Hope you're having a great weekend as well. Thank you. And shout out to Steve. What up, Steve-O? Appropriate. Trump as a president. Absolutely. No notes there. Absolutely no corrections need to be made as far as that comment is concerned. So, Steve, appreciate you, brother. Hope you're having a good weekend. Thank you for the 10. Why all of a sudden I'm rocking out today, I don't know. Why I'm hooking horns all of a sudden today is beyond me, but I'm feeling it. So let's lock some horns here. Appreciate you, Steve. Appreciate you, Christian, as well. Thank you for being here for 22 months. That's amazing. Really is, though. It's really special to see people hanging around that long. And Christian, thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you for being here that long. And thank you for your contributions as well, especially when Deviant Dawn is most often described as an orangutan. I love the resemblance of MT. Wasn't that fucking funny? Oh, good. I hope I'm thank you for reminding me. I got to go back and get a clip of that so I can post that. I found that to be hilarious. That it was Newsmax and Greg Kelly posting fucking orangutan videos of Donald Trump and pictures of Trump that I've never even seen before. So, Kristen, thank you so much for your loyalty. Thank you so much for your friendship. And thank you so much for being here as a part of the community. We appreciate you. Mark G, let's fucking go, brother. Shout out to you. If it looks like a Kelly, talks like a Kelly, defends racism like a Kelly, then it is a racist. Absolutely. Thank you, Mark. Very much appreciated. I mean, again, the balls that you need to have, right? And I think I have something for that, right? I think Greg Kelly took this to heart.
It's a thought. Grow a sack, fill it with some balls.
Because it takes some serious balls to go on and tell African Americans and anybody else that they shouldn't be offended by any racist trope. As a white male is just, it's spot on fucking white privilege at its finest right there, baby. At its finest. So thank you, Mark. Appreciate you pointing that out. Thank you, Shocky. What's up, Shocky? Appreciate you, brother. MTG's weasel words mean nothing, absolutely nothing, and I am right there with you. I am not the TYT folk that is going to again try to launder MTG's reputation because she may have now, to whatever small extent, spoken out about the Epstein files and maybe against Donald Trump. But again, seems to be awful quiet as of late. Again, hasn't had much to say that I've seen, at least. Again, I'll add that in there. But you're 100% right, Shocky. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate your contributions. Always, man. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great weekend. Jordan's back at it. Let's go. Max Gum Disease. Oh, Jordan, we have the best chat here. I love that you guys are funnier and more intelligent than I am. It always makes the chat a good place. It makes it funny for me to come here, right? So I learn and I laugh because you guys are just funnier and more intelligent than I am at a lot of these things. So I love it. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mark. I'm not saying he's a racist, but he won't burn a cross in you. Excuse me. I'm not saying he's a racist. He won't burn a cross in the yard, but he will bring the marshmallows. Right. And a lot of these people, I mean, that's a great way to put it too. Like, they don't want it in their yard, but they'll be more than happy to show up with a hood and marshmallows. So, Mark, fucking love it. You guys are all so brilliant, and I appreciate you guys, and I respect you guys so much for your contributions and your passion for staying involved in communities like this and other communities. Always see you guys in other communities as well. So you guys are heavily involved, and I respect you guys for it. So thank you so much, Mark. Again, thank you, Carol, for 5 gifted memberships. You're amazing. Can't thank you enough for all of your contributions. Can't thank you enough for your involvement, fighting for democracy, being here and supporting podcasts like this goes a long, long way, and I very much appreciate it. So thank you, Carol. Big Dog in the house. What's up, dog? I love the Cameo Kids modeling photos of you on Blue Sky this morning. Fuck. You were a cool-looking kid. What the fuck happened? Should I embarrass myself? You guys want to see how stupid I was as a kid? You want to see how big of a dork I was? Check this out. Check this out. Oh, man. Dog, why you got to do this? I wasn't going to do this to myself. Now he's making me do this to myself. Why would I do this? All right, you asked for it. You asked for it. Come on. What is going on? Who did this to me? Who allowed this? This is abuse. This is abuse. This is abuse. Oh, man. Come on. I got the form down. Look at the fucking form. Like, I could have been a varsity pitcher at the age of 4 right there. Gloves a little big, but what are you going to do? But look at the form. Knee up, elbows up. I mean, I was ready to rock and roll. I mean, they literally should have seen me coming if they saw those modeling photos. Look at the sass in the left one. Holy sassafras. Jesus Christ. And what's funny about this is I think I lost my my ability to model as a child because they wanted me to say, my mom tells the story better, but they wanted me to say that Christopher Columbus was behind me or something like that. You know how they like get you to play up these different scenes, whatever it was. And I was like, Christopher Columbus? I don't see Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus isn't anywhere around here. What are you talking about? And I just kept calling the guy crazy. Oh, my mom's better at telling the story, but it's funny that I was a little weasel, a little wise ass back then too. But yeah, that's what Dame was referencing. Thank you, Dame. Appreciate you fucking bringing that one back up because I could have done without that, for crying out loud. Jesus. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the contribution. Appreciate you, and shout out to you. Jordan's back at it. She got bitten by a vampire. That must be about Nora, right? On LBC there, because I definitely concur with that one if it is. And I appreciate you, Jordan, once again. Thank you, Mark. Just quirky ICE terrorizing the people. And again, the video that I showed wasn't even ICE. I want to make that very clear. It was just the sheriff's office. So, you know, whether this kind of action is something that is usual in that area, or if, again, it is just kind of the filtering down of the actions by DHS and ICE to other law enforcement who now see it as like tacit permission to act like that, right? Because they've seen the other officers be protected by the government, by their leaders, right? No accountability, no justice, being able to, fucking take people without due process, no judicial warrants, fucking coming into your house with violating your Fourth Amendment right. All of these things that we've seen. What's not to say that a lot of the guys that are, let's face it, of similar mindset. Not all of them, not all of them. It's stupid to say that all people of any subset or any group are one thing. And I'm firmly believe that. But, as far as my anecdotal evidence is concerned, I've yet to run into too many of the good people as far as that kind of fucking job is concerned. And again, anecdotal, I'll raise my hand and say absolutely and give that kind of that little moniker there. But it is what it is at this point. We're seeing it in whether it's fucking law enforcement in your local town, in your state, or the sheriff's office. You'd be wise to get out there and film some of these actions and make sure that we get this filmed for history's sake. So, Mark G, appreciate you, brother. Jordan and Mark, big day for you guys. I can't thank you guys enough. I really can't. Appreciate you guys. Jordan says, this is Trump trying to hijack the news cycle. I'm sure to some extent. And again, as we always say here, that might be the ploy and the plan. But a lot of this shit is so dangerous and so explosive in and of itself that, he's kind of got us by the balls, because if we don't speak about it, if we don't talk about it, then we're doing a disservice to that as well. So we have to try to be fucking circus jugglers here and try to be able to, and again, that's why it's good to have a broad coalition and a lot of different podcasts and people to listen to, because, if for some reason I miss a couple stories or, what I like to cover, or I'm familiar with covering, isn't what another person is familiar with covering, and they can cover a different topic or the same topic from a different aspect or a different angle. Like, that's what we need. The more informed and the more, opinions and the more fucking ways you look at things, the better off you're going to be. So appreciate you, Jordan. Mark, back at it again. You guys are incredible today. Mark, don't forget the Epstein files. Absolutely. And vote. Just as important. Appreciate you, Mark. But Mark again. Yes, trying to attack education on all levels, as they do. All you got to do is look at the education rates at red states. So appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. What's up, Michael? What's up, dude? Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the 15, Aussie. Fun fact, the last Republican president to balance the economy was Eisenhower. Clinton and Trump were both born in 1942, but Clinton was president over 30 years ago. Appreciate that fun fact, Michael. Thank you so much. Definitely corroborating what we were saying during the show. And thank you so much for everything that you do. I appreciate everybody that watches from around the globe. I mean, I don't think there's a better representation of, people actually being engaged in the show, from watching at all hours of the night, whether you're in Australia or, different weird hours of the night, whether you're in, England or wherever it may be where you're watching from, whether it's Norway or Iceland or Finland, wherever. Throw it in the chat if you're watching from a different country, because, we respect you guys and thank you so much for your support in, keeping track on what's going on in this country. And we hope that that we're fighting on behalf of the other side. We're fighting on behalf of you guys, making sure that you guys can, continue to count the United States as allies, hopefully when Donald Trump and this Republican Party is out of power. So that's what we're here for. That's what we're hoping to accomplish. Michael, appreciate you guys for taking that to your countries. Very much appreciated. Thank you, Vinny. For being here for 16 months. It's amazing how evidence helps a claim, right? I mean, isn't that weird? Isn't that fucking weird how it's like evidence could help substantiate shit? I appreciate you, Vin. Thank you so much. Colleen, dressing them as penguins is not working. I love that one. Shout out to you, Colleen. Thank you for the 10 very much. Mark, back at it. Boston has mail. All right, I'll check my mail. Again, I only check my mail a couple times a week. I'm not a big email checker, so I understand I'm probably frustrating some people, but I just, again, have to detach at some point. And while I'm not doing a show, I'm just constantly going through emails talking about the show, then I'll just fucking lose my mind. So I'll check it, Mark. I promise. I appreciate you guys. I responded to a few today, so I'll be sure to check it out. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Luis, as well. Sorry, Boston Brian. Go Seahawks this time. We will run it on the 1-yard line. The halftime show will be fire. Fuck ice. Well, Luis, again, a good battle to you, sir. I wish you a good battle, but in no way, shape, or form am I going to say that first thing that you said. So I'm going to have to say no thank you. Go Pats, go Patriots as a lifelong Pats fan. But yes, absolutely. You guys would be very smart if it came down to the 1-yard line this time to not throw it. You idiots. I'm still watching reaction video of Seahawks fans from that fucking play. I'm going to take that to my grave. All of them, actually, all of those things. But I do concur with the last half of your sentence, and definitely make sure you guys are checking out the halftime show. Let's give Bad Bunny all the ratings that we could give him, and let's just totally crush out and black out whatever stupid white nationalist kind of Kid Rock themed fucking bullshit is going on the other side. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for commenting, Luis, even though you did comment that. But thank you so much. Who's next? Masha. Let's go, Masha. Appreciate you, Masha, for the $10 super sticker. Shout out to you and your pretty kitty. Thank you so much. Make sure you're giving them some catnip for me. Let's see who's next. JD 1111. Make a wish, brother. Make a wish. Hashtag Trump can't swim. Oh, you guys crack me up, JD. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate all of you. Thank you, Gamer. Fist bumps. Rice back at you. I said rice back at you, which probably will get me canceled. So right back at you to correct myself. Appreciate you. Tempejo. What's up, Tempejo? Appreciate you becoming a new YouTube member. Thank you so much. Always like to see new YouTube members and new members and faces in the community here. It means we're reaching new people. So thank you so much, Tempejo, for everything that you do. Thank you so much for your support and your contributions to the channel. Wayno. What's up, Wayno? Good to see you, brother. No, thank you, dude. Thank you. As always, my friend. Thank you for being here for 18 months. Thank you for fighting on the right side of history. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your aggression. Just fucking thank you. All right? I know. I'm not good at receiving the compliments because you guys are the ones all deserving of the compliments. So thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Ruben. 5 months from you, Ruben. Can't thank you enough. Wayno again with 10 gifted memberships. See what I mean, Wayno? Thank you, brother. Thank you, motherfucker. Can't thank you enough. Ruben right back at it. Slava Ukraini. Don't know why you said that in the middle, but thank you, Brian. I will accept. Go Pats. Appreciate you, brother. See, you guys are trying to trick me here. Rocks, thank you so much for everything that you do. Not only in the chat, keeping that chat a safe place, keeping me informed, but also as a member for 23 months. Just goes to show that you guys aren't forced against your will on being here, I guess. So I appreciate you. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's fucking go. Thank you, Rocks. Can't thank you enough. That goes for all the mods as well. Don't want to leave anybody out. Thank you, Susie, for 13 months of loyalty. Hi, Pops. Brian in the chat. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Hi, Pops in the chat, by the way. Again, another with the fucking who am I hooking today? Who are you hooking? Why are they hooking? I don't know. I appreciate you, though, Susie. I will pass that on if he's not in the chat at the moment. Thank you, Ruben, for the 5. Shout out to the mods. Thank you to the mods and the wrenches. Thank you, JD. Cutie pie bonus. Yeah, I don't know about that. Do you see that fucking Mo, Larry, and Curly haircut? Good Lord. What was going on? I was doing my best fucking whoop, 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 whoop. Look at this. Hold on. Look at this. Whoop, 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 whoop. Look at that shit. I still got all of that. I mean, that fucking mop right there is, I guess I should be happy. That's why I still have a head of hair, I guess. Right? So I guess I shouldn't be knocking it. Let's be grateful where we can be, Brian. Let's be grateful where we can be. So on some weird way, I'm grateful for that. But thank you, JD. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Don, age 17, for the 5 gifted memberships. Very much appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you for your contributions to channels like this. It goes a long way. And again, it's very much appreciated. So shout out to you, Don. Thank you. Hope you stick around. Thank you, Masha, as well. Cuteness bonus. You still, yeah, I don't know about that. I love your laugh. Well, I appreciate that, Masha. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. So again, say hi to you and the kitty for me. Elizabeth, there you are. Oh, come on, you motherfuckers. Jesus Christ. Thank you for the 16 months, Elizabeth. Thank you for the 16 months. I don't see anything else written there. I can't see anything else written there, so I'm just going to go on to the next one. How about that? Who else? Who's next? Jen, thank you. Be gay for me. Thank you. Somebody in the chat, for Christ's sakes. Gay for me, Jen. Let's go. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Rounding it out today. All right, I'll let you guys go to the Super Bowl parties if that's where you're going to be. If you're not, I'll let you get to the movies. I'll let you get to a friend's house. Whatever the fuck you're going to be doing for the rest of this Sunday. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's relaxing. I hope you can recuperate. I hope you can eat some good food, drink some cold beer, whatever it may be. Read a nice book. Spend some time with friends, family, your loved ones, your pets. Whatever it may be, on recuperating and getting your mental status back, then I am in full support of. But before I let you go, one deep look into this. Let's see how we're doing here. Let's see how we're doing. We are now 48%. Let's go. 48% of the way there before I let you go. Over 9,953 euro raised. Let's fucking go, dude. 89 donations. I actually almost fell off my chair earlier. I nearly had a fucking heart attack because apparently it was a glitch on the site, but it did say, hey, I might be able to show you the picture. It did say that we raised over $2 million at one point. I almost fucking died. I woke up this morning. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Might be a little blurry. Sorry if it's blurry, but I took a screenshot. But it said we raised €2,385,747. I was like, holy shit. Somebody donate fucking 2.3 million euro? That would be cool. But no, we're trucking along anyway. We have 48% of the way there. We're trying to get to €20,500, which I believe is around $23,000. So if we could help us get there, whether it's donating yourself with a $5 or a $10. And again, as I told you guys, in case anybody wasn't around, I donated on behalf of Blunt Politics. This Brian donation you see on your screen right here, 2526 for €104.11. That is on behalf of all of us here at Blunt Politics. I see Yakov on there too. Thank you, brother. Let's fucking go. So again, you can put yourself on the name wall, the leadership wall here for whatever you donate. And again, you can request one of the patches if you donate the certain and required amount there. But just a great way to get involved. Again, a $5 or a $10 goes a long way in helping. And even if you can't do that, just share it out. It just goes a long way in helping. So you're saving lives. Again, I think each one of these trucks goes to help save about 50 lives, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I don't have the math wrong on that, but I know it's a substantial amount of lives that each one of these trucks goes to saving, so that these people aren't just walking aimlessly around the battlefield trying to get from one position to another without the speed, the mobility, and the safety of having a vehicle like this. So thank you so much to everybody that's already been involved, getting involved, shared it out, or donated in any way, shape, or form. So thank you to everybody supporting not only the show, but the good causes that we're involved in here. So very much appreciate you guys. I will see you on Tuesday for the Tuesday show. Kick some ass tonight. Go Pats. And hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys later. Appreciate you guys. I'm Boston Brian. This is the Blunt Politics Podcast. Make sure you're staying aggressive. Make sure you're staying loud, proud, but keep your head on a swivel out there. If you're going to go out there protesting, if you're going to go out there and showing your discontent for what the government is doing, make sure you have an escape plan. Make sure you have your exit routes out there, and make sure you go with a group that can have your back at all times. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Let's stay involved. And again, go fucking Pats, you haters. Good God. Jesus. Just kidding. Not about the go Pats thing, though. All right, I'm out of here. I appreciate you guys. Peace. And again, none of the info on this is correct. None of the info on this is correct. I just like the song. Go Pats, baby. Let's fucking go.
inviting Americans from all across the country to come.
Here's a thought. Grow a sack, fill it with some balls.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart. It's an incredible thing. Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen. It's a new form of vicious violation to our country. And God bless the United States. For miners, do we love miners? I love miners. We appreciate those camels. I haven't seen camels like that in a long time.
He says rectum damn near killed him. Taking him back to Nevada where he's wanted for banging horses.
They're just getting acclimated. You know what that means, acclimated?
Hey, you got a little chubby going there.
What in the hell was that all about? Obama.
Yesterday's a hard word for me. You'll have a group of Venezuelan killers, street gangs, occupying the town with MK-47s. I know that gun very well. I got to know it very well. I've become an expert on guns. Refer to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small.
Always calling me Little Marco. And I'll admit, the guy, he's taller than me. He's like 6'2", which is why I don't understand why his hands are the size of someone who's 5'2".
Oh, get those lights off! Off! Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off!
It feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful life. Give yourself a round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely.
Man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
They've been conserved since the time of lobsters, right? There weren't trees around when lobsters first manifested themselves on the planet.
All right, guys. I'll see you later. Very much appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for your contributions, every single one of you.
The big, fat, sloppy United States.
Later, mods. Thank you, guys.